This guy right here is our MC. Don't let his goofy face fool you. With just one punch, he can obliterate a 1,000-year-old demon beast, absolutely terrifying every cultivator in the world. Just seeing his score on the leaderboard drove the elite guy next to him so crazy that he literally self-destructed. Unreal, right? Well, that's because our MC has a sign-in system, and it's ridiculously OP. On day 1, he got 10,000 years of demon beast cultivation. On day 2, he got a technique that can blow away half a city with a single punch. Just 30 days of signing in, and he can punch away the entire universe. All right, no more rambling, let's get right into it. A cold electronic voice rang out. All 1,000 saviors have arrived. The trial begins. At this moment, Sumo's eyes were filled with utter confusion as he looked at the scene before him. At that time, I didn't fully realize the gravity of the situation yet. Standing before me were cultivators with extraordinary strength, possessing powers far beyond human imagination. Except for a regular guy like me, the other 9,999 saviors were all cultivators ready to face whatever lay ahead. And that wasn't all. There were also monsters of all shapes and sizes. Then that robotic electronic voice rang out again. 365 days remain until the gods of the other world arrive. Sumo stared at the electronic screen and couldn't help but swear, reality is a total pile of dog shit. On the system screen, a message popped up. Sign-in system activated. Day 1 reward, strength of a 1,000-year demon beast. Day 2 reward, legendary war god combat experience. As soon as the system notification popped up, the legendary war god combat experience was transferred directly to Sumo. His body transformed from a normal human into an incredibly powerful cultivator. It wouldn't even be an exaggeration to say he was now the strongest in the world. This power gave him absolute confidence. If I sign in for 30 days, I'll be able to blow up a planet with one punch. Next up, welcome to 30 days of sign-ins to blow up a planet. Inside the general hospital, Sumo's deep voice echoed. I've already resigned. I have absolutely nothing to do with you people anymore. Even when facing a group of men pointing guns at him, he didn't show a hint of fear. He spread both arms to shield Su-yun, who was lying in a deep coma behind him. His eyes burned with anger as he roared, "Get the hell out! This is my sister's hospital room." Seeing him speak so rudely to his boss, President 2's lackey snapped. "Sumo, how dare you talk to President 2 like that? Looks like we need to teach you some manners." He was about to step forward to beat him up when President 2 stopped him. He raised his hand and ordered his men, "All right, put the guns down. We run a legitimate business, so let's not go pointing guns at people. We can talk this through." The lackey obediently complied, "Yes, President 2. He looked at Su-yun lying on the hospital bed and asked with fake concern, "Sumo, is this your sister? I heard your parents passed away early and she raised you all by herself. It's a shame she got sick, with such a sudden acute illness before she could even enjoy life." At this point, his voice carried a clear threat. "The company advanced the medical fees to keep her alive, yet you don't show me an ounce of respect. You don't even call me President 2. But how could Sumo let himself be intimidated by this man? Even though the company was paying for his sister's treatment, he refused to bow his head. He replied firmly, "I will pay back every cent the company advanced. But if you want me to take the fall and carry a massive debt for that amusement park project, my only choice is to resign." Seeing how stubborn Sumo was, President 2 didn't get angry. Instead, a smirk crept onto his face. "Don't forget you were the one who begged me, which is why I promoted you to lead accountant for that amusement park project. Of course I understand you only fought for this opportunity to pay for your sister's treatment." He walked over to Su-yun's bedside. "You know I'm a big believer in karma. You accepted the job for your sister's sake, but now you're suddenly resigning and shirking your responsibility." Ultimately, he was still using Su-yun's life to threaten Sumo, trying to force him to comply. "Aren't you worried something terrible might happen to your sister?" Hearing the blatant threat in his words, Sumo gritted his teeth in rage. "You bastard, are you threatening me?" Just as Sumo was about to lunge forward and punch him, he was blocked by 2 lackeys. He could no longer keep his cool. His face twisted with rage. "If you do anything to my sister, I swear I will make you pay." Seeing how agitated he was, the 2 lackeys barked, "Step back! Don't get near President 2! By now, President 2's smile had vanished. With a dark expression, he spoke in a tone that was half threatening, half advising. "Sumo, I'm not a cruel man. I don't want to see anything bad happen to this poor girl. But the amusement park project is funded by the government. Someone has to step up and take responsibility for such a massive deficit to take the fall completely. Have you thought this through? If you and I end up destroying each other, who's going to take care of your sister? But if you save the company's face, the company will return the favor. I can even advance your sister's medical fees for the next 15 days. I can pay for all of it. After President Tu finished speaking, Sumo slowly calmed down. He lowered his head, falling silent as if weighing the offer. Seeing that Sumo was no longer agitated, he felt his words had gotten through to him. He gave Sumo until tomorrow. Think it over carefully today. Once you've made up your mind, come find me at the office tomorrow. The next day, Sumo got dressed up in a neat tucked-in shirt and went to the office. From afar, Xia Xiaomeng was a bit surprised to see him, team leader. Seeing her, Sumo went over to greet her. Xiaomeng, long time no see. She looked at him, then hesitantly said, Team leader, there's something I need to tell you. Can you come with me for a second? Sumo followed her to the office rooftop. Thinking about his current dire situation, his heart grew heavy. Meanwhile, Xiaomeng leaned in slightly, acting just like a young girl in love, blushing as she confessed her feelings to Sumo. I don't care. I know the timing isn't great, but if I miss this chance, I might never get another one. Team leader, no brother Mo. Actually, I've always liked you. I wanted to know, do you feel the same way about me? Faced with this sudden confession, he was stunned for a moment, completely caught off guard. Then he quickly rejected her. I'm sorry, but I'm really not in the right headspace to think about this right now. Sorry. Being rejected, Hatuman sadly lowered her eyes. Is that so? I understand. Then she suddenly made a request. Mak, can you close your eyes? I want to give you the parting gift. Though confused, so Mak didn't think too much of it and agreed right away. All right. She leaned in close, whispering in his ear that she knew he was being set up as a scapegoat. I heard some news. If you survive and make it out, the company is going to make you take the fall for the amusement park project. And just like that, her expression did a complete 180. Her shy and embarrassed act was gone, replaced by the smug, malicious sneer of an evil stepmother. She reached out and shoved Somak hard over the edge. Just do this for me, okay? Now, please go die. Somak never expected her to lure him to the rooftop railing just to push him off. In that moment, time seemed to slow down. He looked at her in utter disbelief. What? Refusing to go down alone. Somak grabbed Hatuman's wrist with a death grip. Unable to keep her balance, she was dragged down with him. She screamed hysterically, cursing at him. Are you insane? Somak, let go. You offended President Tu. Why couldn't you just die quietly? If you don't want to die with me, pull me up. Let go of me. I can't hold on much longer. Hatuman's face was twisted in sheer terror. She screamed at the top of her lungs, but then what lay below caught her completely off guard. We're falling. But wait, what on earth is that? Right before her eyes, a massive stone gate swung open. A giant hand reached out to catch Somak as a portal appeared on the ground, pulling him inside. Seeing this unfold, a desperate glimmer of hope surged within her. There's still a chance. If I can just get through that gate, I can survive. But as soon as the hand caught Somak, it retreated. The gate began to close. She watched in utter disbelief. No, the gate is closing. No, wait, don't. But there was no hope left for her. Her body crashed violently onto the pavement. Passers-by who witnessed the horrific scene began screaming in terror. Oh my God, what happened? Someone fell. It's a girl. Quick, call the police. A girl just jumped off the building. Meanwhile, in another world, right in front of the company entrance, there was no fallen body, nor were there any terrified screams from the crowd. Everything was dead silent. Somak sat on the ground completely unharmed. He was utterly dazed by the fact that he was still breathing. I fell all the way from the rooftop, and I'm alive. Once he realized he was actually safe, he began to look around only to realize there wasn't a single soul in sight. Even though this was his usual commute route, it felt completely deserted. How strange. This is definitely my company building and the street I know, but why is it so empty? What on earth is going on? As he was lost in thought, a robotic voice suddenly echoed in his ear. 10,000 saviors have arrived. The trial begins. Startled by the sudden announcement, Somak jumped. Where is that voice coming from? And what on earth is this savior trial? Suddenly, a girl dashed toward him, screaming a warning. Get out of the way! It was Vu Dong. Holding her sword, she swept past a bewildered Somak. Her blade began to glow with a mystical light. With a swift movement, Wudong unleashed her illusory spirit blade technique on the beast right in front of them. The powerful burst of energy lit up the gloomy, dark surroundings, staring at a scene that completely shattered his reality. Somak stood frozen in shock. Is that even humanly possible? After slaying the beast. Wudong turned around and looked at him. Sensing absolutely no spiritual energy from him, she realized he was just a regular human. How strange. This is a secret realm. It's a place where chosen cultivators undergo the savior trials. She looked at Somak thoroughly confused. How could an ordinary human with absolutely no spiritual energy like you even get in here? A beast was right next to you just now. You almost lost your life. Knowing she had just saved him, he said with deep gratitude, "Thank you for saving my life. Honestly, I have no idea how I got here either. Could you tell me how I can leave this place?" Wudong knew it was far too dangerous for him to stay, but she had no way of getting him out. Once the savior trial begins, you can't just come and go as you please. We have to wait until the trial mission is complete before we can leave. But with beasts roaming everywhere, it's just too dangerous for you. So she made a suggestion. For now, stick with me. Just then, Chan Pham approached from a distance. Hearing that she wanted to protect Somak, he coldly warned her, "Junior sister Wudong, this secret realm is no place for charity." He glared at her coldly, his tone laced with a threat. "Even for cultivators like us, this place is incredibly dangerous. If you insist on dragging this dead weight along and carrying this burden, then I'll have no choice but to kick you out of my team." Hearing his words, Wudong wavered for a second. But the thought of leaving an ordinary person behind in this perilous realm made her extremely uneasy. Was she really going to just abandon him? Seeing how determined he was, Wudong couldn't bear it and wanted to plead with senior brother Chen on Chumo's behalf. But Chumo, realizing that Chen didn't want him in the team, read the room and spoke up to stop Wudong. "Don't worry about me. I'm already so grateful that you saved me earlier. Right now you should focus on your own situation first. Even if I'm all alone, no matter what it takes, I will definitely survive and make it back," he said with absolute determination, thinking of Chu Yun, who was still waiting for him in the hospital. "Because I have a reason to return. My sister is still waiting for me." Hearing this, Chen Fan thought he was just boasting cold contempt, obvious in his eyes. "A mere mortal dares to speak so boldly. I'm really curious to see what kind of pathetic face you'll make when you face true despair." Chumo watched them walk away without looking back, completely unable to believe how incredibly cold people could be. "Huh, they really left. So the words I said earlier were just to try and move them." He looked down in disappointment at the sword Wudong had left behind for him. He had spoken from the bottom of his heart. "I really thought that cultivator named Wudong would stay behind. Even though she left me her spare sword, I don't even know how to use it. Oh well, I was only trying my luck anyway. When push comes to shove, you really can only rely on yourself. Only the weak hope for help from others." As if to banish his anxiety, a system notification chimed, "Sign-in system activated." Black text appeared in front of him reading, "Sign-in system. Sign in at the secret realm to receive the most generous rewards. Sign in to claim today's reward." Chumo stared at the golden screen in front of him, completely baffled. He raised an eyebrow, looking at it with curious eyes. Huh. Where did this weird screen and voice suddenly come from? Though confused, Chumo still followed the system's instructions and reached out to tap the claim button. Tap to claim today's reward. The moment he tapped the claim button, the system instantly channeled the power of a 1,000-year-old demon beast into his body. Day 1 sign-in. Reward power of a 1,000-year demon beast. Reward granted, host please check. Chumo felt an incredibly powerful force surging through his body. He pursed his lips and raised his eyebrows, staring down at his palms. He couldn't help but marvel at how miraculous this was. The power, it's overflowing. Even all the exhaustion from staying up late last night has completely vanished. This is incredible. Meanwhile, in the real world, a system announcement echoed, "Otherworld invasion detected. Secret realm activation imminent." 4. In the city of towering skyscrapers. The gloomy sky only made the system announcement sound even more eerie. A total of 10,000 cultivators have been chosen as saviors to enter the secret realm and battle the demon beasts invading from the otherworld. The secret realm will be broadcast live globally, linking the fate of all humanity. 4. If the saviors fail the trial, after 365 days, the gods of the otherworld will descend and human civilization will be destroyed. All the pedestrians on the streets heard this announcement at the same time. Confused, they asked those around them, "Where is that voice coming from? Did you guys hear that?" "I heard it too." Someone looking at their phone noticed a strange app was being installed on their device. That's weird. My phone just automatically downloaded an app called Secret Realm Livestream. Hearing this, the others checked their own phones as well. My phone has it too. Shoot that voice we just heard. It can't be real, right? If it's real, that would be amazing. Are there really cultivators in this world? I want to become one too. Seeing this, someone pessimistic cursed out loud. Idiots, we might all be dead in 1 year, and you're thinking about cultivation. Forget cultivation. We have those saviors fighting the demon beasts. Even if someone dies, they'll go first. So what's there to be afraid of? There were also people who weren't scared at all, finding the whole thing rather exciting. The Secret Realm Livestream app is finished installing. Let me take a look. Welcome to the Secret Realm Live channel. The Secret Realm is an intermediate zone existing between the real world and the other world. Ancient cultivators constructed the Secret Realm as a defense post on Earth to ward off invasions from other worlds. If the saviors emerge victorious in the Secret Realm, Earth's spiritual energy will be restored, ushering in an era of universal cultivation. Everyone will have the opportunity to attain longevity and immense power. After the introduction and explanation of the cultivation world concluded, Li Shang appeared before everyone in an incredibly cute form. Hello everyone, I am the virtual host VTuber Li Shang. It is such an honor to be invited as the host for the Secret Realm livestream. I hope you all will show me lots of support in the coming days. After that, the little girl pointed toward Li Guixing and Yi Chang, who were sitting behind her, and introduced them to everyone. The two co-hosts beside me come from one of the 4 major cultivation sects. They are the 6th elder of the Taiyi Fire Mansion Guixing and the world's most famous and beautiful idol Yi Chang. As a seasoned host, the little girl quickly threw out a question to draw everyone's attention to them. Elder Guixing, Sister Yi Chang, before the show officially begins, do the two of you have anything you'd like to share with our audience? With a calm expression, Li Guixing answered the little girl's question. In the face of the invasion from another world, our cultivation sects have already made thorough preparations to deal with the demonic beasts. Even though they are fierce, we cultivators are always ready to fight. Sitting next to him, Yi Chang gently added, Elder Li's words truly put everyone's minds at ease. After offering him some praise, she began to guide the viewers and explain the destiny coin in detail to everyone. There is still one important point I need to remind everyone about. The Secret Realm Livestream app also has a special feature, which is viewer donations. For every viewer's account on this Secret Realm Livestream program, I will generate a different amount of destiny coins every day. You can use them to reward your favorite savior. These gifted coins can help the savior inside the Secret Realm, and to increase their strength. After letting the two of them finish explaining a few points of interest, Li Shang held the destiny coin in her hand and announced, in the future, I will also introduce some highly anticipated saviors on our live broadcast. Thank you both for your insights. Our main broadcast room will now randomly stream various saviors who are fighting inside the Secret Realm. Dear viewers, you can also select the individual streams of different saviors to watch and use bullet comments to interact with them. Now let us open the live stream room of our very first lucky savior. And the very first room shown to everyone is Chen Fan's stream. Right now, he no longer has that arrogant look-down-on-others attitude he had towards our main protagonist earlier. Instead, he looks completely battered and miserable. On Chen Fan's live stream, he can be seen crying on screen, begging the monster to spare his life. Please spare me, I beg of you. Viewers began to feel disappointed with Chen Fan's stream as frustrated comments flooded the screen. When the host introduced the show earlier, I was so excited for the future, but they opened the stream only to show me this garbage. Chen Fan's live stream. The three hosts already feel like they've been slapped in the face. A savior who gets killed instantly upon entering the Secret Realm. Is this really a cultivator? Isn't he just delivering himself as a snack to the demonic beasts? Even Li Shang didn't expect to get slapped in the face so hard by the very first stream. Feeling completely helpless, the little girl had no choice but to switch to the next room. Let's check out the next live stream, shall we? But the next room was still another slap right to their faces. On Long Wu's live stream, he was grabbed by a monster and was screaming in terror, "Help me, I don't want to die yet." At this point, sweat started pouring down the faces of all three hosts. The little girl wiped her forehead and awkwardly switched to the next room, saying, "Next room." But the subsequent rooms continued to disappoint, and the little girl's desperate calls to switch streams kept repeating, "Next room, the next room after that." Yi Chang felt Extremely apologetic towards the viewers who were spending their time watching their broadcast, I sincerely apologize to all my fans. I failed to do my job properly, it's all my fault. Seeing that not a single cultivator could stand up to the monsters, Li Guiqing was deeply disappointed. They promised a live stream of intense combat, so why has it turned into a broadcast of running for their lives? And this is terrifying. If I had known, I would never have entered. But when he looked closely at the live stream, he realized something was off. Wait, this isn't right. For a first-time Secret Realm trial, the difficulty level should be different. Right at this moment, a system notification popped up for everyone. Emergency notice: gods of the other world have increased their invasion of the Secret Realm. The difficulty of the Secret Realm has been upgraded. For the first time, the difficulty level of the Secret Realm has reached the absolute limit of F grade. Demonic beasts with 500 years of cultivation will now appear. Seeing the new notification, Li Xiang was surprised. Oh, there's another new announcement from the Secret Realm. Hearing about the 500-year demonic beast, the little girl cried out in terror. A 500-year-old demonic beast. Meanwhile, Yi Chang, who didn't seem to know much about this, curiously asked Li Guiqing, "Is a 500-year demonic beast really that strong?" At this moment, his expression, upon hearing about the 500-year beast, became extremely grave. The longer a demonic beast lives, the stronger it becomes. Because Earth's spiritual energy has been depleted currently, the combat power of our strongest cultivator is only equivalent to a 1,000-year demonic beast. What is worse, the young cultivators chosen by the Secret Realm are relatively weak. Even if a 300-year demonic beast appears, they will be forced into a brutal struggle. Li Xiang looked at the screen and sweetly asked the viewers, "Dear viewers, I believe you have all heard the clear explanation from Elder Li." The little girl pulled out the destiny coin again and encouraged everyone to donate to the cultivators. For the future of Earth, our saviors are fighting a grueling battle against extremely dangerous beasts. Please use the coins in your hands to show them more support. These saviors should not be mocked. Please watch the next live stream room with respect and gratitude in your hearts. Inside the Secret Realm. Somak was currently sitting on the ground, happily slurping down instant noodles. Beside him were empty wrappers of snacks and sweets. On Somak's live stream, the viewers saw him completely buried in his noodles and began to feel disappointed. Man, I got excited for nothing. What did the host just say? A grueling battle. However, some felt his stream was a hilarious contrast that made the whole ordeal much more interesting. The atmosphere was so tragic, but now it's suddenly hilarious. This guy is awesome. Instant noodles with potato chips and Coca-Cola? Is this guy on a camping trip or what? Talk about a sudden change of pace. Every other stream is a live-or-die battle, but he's just sitting here eating. The three hosts never expected to see a cultivator casually enjoying a meal like this, while the outside world is in absolute chaos. To break the awkward silence, Yi Chang forced 2 dry laughs and offered an assessment of this noodle-eating cultivator's strength. He must be really powerful. I didn't expect him to be so incredibly calm. As Kui Tin looked closely at Somak, he was shocked to realize that he wasn't a cultivator at all. There isn't a single shred of spiritual energy on him. He's just an ordinary mortal. Why on earth did the Secret Realm choose him to be the savior? After wolfing down his cup of noodles, Somak set it on the ground and the screen immediately focused on it. The viewers also heard what Kui Tin just said and they immediately panicked. Did you guys hear what the host just said? This savior, named Somak, is actually just a regular guy. In his live stream room, viewers saw him looking for food again and couldn't help but mock the cultivators. The cultivators are totally losing face online, braving a secret realm, and yet they're worse than an ordinary human. Others just laughed it off, saying he was just incredibly lucky. If he ran into a demonic beast, he would have been a cold corpse a long time ago. How about we place bets on how long he can keep coasting along like this? The live stream's viewer count suddenly skyrocketed. Is anyone going to donate to this guy? So mock. Seeing that question, some snorted in disdain and replied, "Who in their right mind would donate to him? Wasting coins on a normal human, I'd rather give them to a real cultivator. I just want to see how he ends up dying." But right at that moment, the camera panned to the door behind Somak, where a trace of demonic energy was trying to creep into the room. And it succeeded. The demonic beast slowly took shape as its powerful demonic energy filled the room, making the atmosphere even more ominous and eerie. The chat went wild at the sight of this, with comments like, "Get him flooding the screen. Look in the corner of the stream. It looks like a demonic beast is heading right toward Somak. Go get him. Meanwhile, Somak, who had absolutely no cultivation, looked completely unfazed as he stared at the beast before him. There wasn't a single trace of fear on his face, though some pessimistic viewers felt there was a high chance Somak was going to bite the dust. He's absolutely a goner. He's dead meat. Upon realizing that Somak was just an ordinary human with absolutely no spiritual energy, Ditch-Suong was horrified. What kind of brain-dead secret realm is this? I can't believe it summoned a normal human to be the savior. Elder Lai, can you get Somak out of the secret realm? But Kui Tin also felt that Somak was definitely a goner this time. Stricken with grief, he closed his eyes, not wanting to watch the impending tragedy. The secret realm was created by ancient cultivators. We have absolutely no control over it. Besides, it's already too late. In front of a 100-year-old demonic beast, this mortal won't last more than 3 seconds. Back in the secret realm, Somak and the 100-year-old demonic beast just stood there staring at each other. Staring face to face, both of them stood completely still as if they were in a staring contest. Unlike everyone else who was paralyzed with fear and anxiety, he was incredibly relaxed, casually stroking his chin. Evaluating the demonic beast in front of him, he thought, "Oh, I didn't expect this beast to have 6 eyes. It's also much larger than the previous one. Is this some kind of powered-up, upgraded version? Even though I obtained the strength of a 1,000-year-old demonic beast through the sign-in system, this is still a bit creepy. Usually, monsters in manga and web novels are anywhere from several thousand to tens of thousands of years old." But while he was lost in thought, the demonic beast suddenly lunged forward, reaching out to grab him. Somak lightly leaped into the air, easily dodging the strike. He didn't forget to analyze it in his head, though. But man, its speed is really slow. I easily dodged it without even trying. Could it really be that weak? Looking at its empty hand, the demonic beast was utterly shocked. Wait, where did he go? Even though he felt the demonic beast's speed was incredibly slow, Somak didn't let his guard down. Frowning deeply, he warned himself not to underestimate this creature. Maybe its speed is slow because its defense is insanely high. Perhaps it's deliberately trying to bait me into attacking first, using my own force to deal damage back to me, which would result in a fatal wound to myself instead. To test if that was indeed its ability, Somak decided to test it. He reached for the sword that Wudong had given him. All right, let's put my theory to the test. The cultivator Wudong had left a long sword behind. I'll use this to strike the beast and see. He then swung the sword, slashing the demonic beast. Seeing it connect, he thought to himself, a direct hit. The demonic beast also felt the slash. It broke out in a cold sweat, staring at him in terror. But when it realized it was completely unharmed, it joyfully raised both of its hands, thrilled to find itself completely in one piece. And just as Somak had suspected, the beast's ability was indeed damage reflection. Looking at his shattered sword, he wasn't the least bit surprised, just as I thought. Looking at the shattered sword, Somak felt incredibly lucky that he had been so cautious with this demonic beast. It's exactly as I guessed. It baits you into attacking to reflect the damage back. Good thing I used a sword to strike, otherwise I would have been the one getting hurt. The viewers watching the stream saw that not only did he survive contrary to what Kui Tin predicted, but he even managed to slash the beast, and they burst out laughing. Elder Lai had been slap-faced so many times already, and here he was saying he wouldn't last more than 3 seconds. Somak is incredible. The beast couldn't even graze him. This level of dodging must be maxed out. But some felt that dodging fast is completely useless, writing comments that showed clear contempt in Somak's livestream chat. What's the point of dodging fast anyway? Didn't you see his attack just now? Even his sword broke. What is he doing, scratching the monster's itch? Someone immediately stood up to defend him, firing back at the hater. You talk like you're some kind of expert, huh? Somak is just an ordinary person. Performing like that is already extremely impressive. Over in Li Tuang's stream, the young girl stroked her chin. Her voice betrayed her deep surprise at Somak. Wow, what a surprise. I never expected Somak to actually dodge all of the monster's attacks. Even Ditch-Suong didn't expect him to be this capable. She asked Kui Tin for his thoughts on him. I was also completely blown away by Somak's performance. Maybe he could actually turn the tables and kill the monster. Elder Lai, what do you think? Without any shame, he admitted that he had been too quick to judge. I must admit I misjudged him. Seeing Somak's fighting performance just now, he must practice martial arts daily and at a very high level at that. But the elder also added how to actually defeat the beast. That is, one must use spiritual energy. Only by infusing attacks with spiritual energy can you harm the beast. Only cultivators can truly defeat monsters. Although he can rely on his martial arts experience to dodge the beast's attacks, his counterattacks can't inflict any real damage on it. Looking at Somok's livestream screen as he dodged the monster's attacks, the elder's voice carried deep regret for a talent like him. What a massive pity for this mortal. This is going to be an utterly hopeless battle. Even if Somok dodges countless attacks, if he gets hit just once, he will die instantly. Back to Somok after dodging the beast's attack, he landed gracefully. Realizing he had been backed into a corner, he felt a bit frustrated. This is troublesome. I wasn't paying attention to the terrain while dodging, and now the beast has pinned me in a corner. Looking at the beast radiating a powerful aura intent on killing him, his head throbbed as he thought, "There's no room left to dodge." By now, Somok knew that dodging was no longer a viable option. He decided to counterattack. I'll just have to gamble on this. Faking an attack, he gave the beast a light push. Clenching his fist, he thought, as long as it gets scared and hesitates for a second, I can use that chance to escape this corner, catching the beast off guard. Somok reached out and gave it a push, but his strength seemed to be far too immense, leaving his face filled with utter confusion. Didn't I just give it a gentle push? The 100-year-old monster, just like that, was sent straight to the grave by his single push. Somok, still clueless that he was unimaginably strong, even complained about the beast. Wow, this monster is such a weakling. Every single viewer saw this happen. They laughed their heads off, mocking Quitin. What did Elder Lai say just now? Only cultivators can defeat monsters. The comments in Somok's livestream chat instantly exploded. And in Somok's, God, Mok is so amazing, I want to have his babies. Fake savior gets chased by monsters and runs away. Real savior, I just gave it a light push. And the monster is already dead. At this moment, everyone began to shower him with donations. I've got the cash. Nobody stop me. I have to send Somok some coins. The system notified Somok of the viewer's actions. From the viewer donations, respected savior. Somok, you have received over 5,000 reward coins from the audience, increasing your combat power by 50 points. Somok looked down at his hands. To him, these notifications were rather unfamiliar. Another system notification from the secret realm. Viewers tipping coins. Is this a new feature? He didn't feel any change in his body at all. Puzzled, he wondered, but even though it said it boosted my combat power, why don't I feel any different? As if sensing his confusion, the system screen popped up displaying Somok's combat power. System notification host may check options to increase combat power. Current combat power 10,050. Meanwhile, back at Somok's former company, a subordinate panicked upon seeing that he wasn't dead and was still live on stream. He scrambled to report to President 2. President 2, huge news. That kid Somok, he's on live stream again. Feeling his subordinate was making a mountain out of a molehill, he held a wine glass in his hand and said leisurely, "A trivial matter like this is nothing to panic about. Where are your manners?" Seeing him still so relaxed, the subordinate, anxious to death, quickly explained, "No, President. 2, please listen to me. It's not a normal stream. It's a secret realm live stream. That kid Somok was actually chosen as a savior. He even killed a monster inside the secret realm. What if he comes back to seek revenge on us?" But with a completely expressionless face, he ordered to pin all the blame on Hatioman instead. She's already dead anyway. I already know about this. Pin all the blame for the project's deficit on Hatioman, the worker who jumped off the building this morning. Her face flashed across President 2's mind. He paused for a moment before giving his subordinate the next order. Wipe out all of Chumo's sister's medical expenses and negotiate a settlement with him. Instead of leaving immediately, the subordinate asked with a serious look on his face, "But Mr. Shu, have you considered that Chumo might refuse to settle with us?" But someone like Mr. Shu, who had seen and done it all, wasn't afraid of Chumo at all. He figured the kid just had some amateur martial arts skills and could never pose a real threat to him. You don't seriously think I'm agreeing to settle because I'm scared of him, do you? He's just an ordinary martial artist who got lucky and killed a 100-year-old demon beast. Even if he is a cultivator, so what? His lips curled into a confident smirk. 7. To the high society elite, the existence of cultivators had never been a secret. At any moment, I can hire a few cultivators to gang up on him. If Chumo doesn't want to settle, then I'll just have to send him to his grave. Back in Luli's stream room, thanks to Chumo's breakthrough, the girl had regained her confidence. She even thanked their honored guest for his detailed analysis, which was extremely detailed and made the show so much more engaging. It had already been over an hour since the secret realm first opened. The situation is starting to shift. We hope our cultivators keep defeating these powerful beasts, and we hope the viewers will continue to gift coins to our brave saviors. And of course, a huge thanks to Elder Lee for his incredibly professional commentary. Thanks to him, even ordinary folk like us can easily follow the flow of the battle. Yichang, who was sitting nearby, smiled warmly and chimed in with a playful comment. But you know I think Elder Lee is at his absolute funniest when he's talking about Chumo. Honestly, I'm starting to want to invite Elder Lee to join some game shows with me. He crossed his arms and stared at the screen. Oh, please save me, Yichang, give me a break. I'm really not in the mood for jokes right now. The situation is nowhere near as optimistic as you all think. A heavy, serious expression still hung on his face. Ever since the 100-year-old beasts showed up in the secret realm, from the 15-year-old beasts at the start to the 100-year-old ones, and now even the 200-year-old ones, the difficulty of the realm is going to scale up over time. According to the secret realm's grading system, a 100-year-old beast has a combat power of 100. A 200-year-old beast has a combat power of 300. A 300-year-old beast has a combat power of 500, and a 400-year-old beast has a combat power of 1,000. A 500-year-old beast will have a combat power of 2,000. When the 500-year-old beasts enter the field, our cultivators will face their ultimate trial. Seeing his grim, negative outlook, Luli, however, looked completely relaxed as she shared a different take on the situation. Actually, I have a different view from Elder Lee. Our saviors are out there fighting for their lives, so we should have some faith in them. She used Chumo as a prime example. Just look at earlier, who would have thought Chumo could take down a 100-year-old beast so effortlessly? At this point, why don't we head back to Chumo's stream? Who knows, maybe he'll pull off another miracle. Back in the secret realm, after filling his belly and defeating a 100-year-old beast, Chumo did something absolutely nobody expected. He went right to sleep. While everyone else was locked in life-or-death battles with the beasts, our boy was sleeping like a baby. The viewers couldn't help but crack up at this, and even Luli's attempt to hype him up fell flat. Don't visit this stream, it's cursed. The only miracle he created was sleeping peacefully for half an hour in a deadly realm. Comments flooded Chumo's stream. Many of the viewers were completely speechless. I can't believe I actually gifted him earlier only for him to doze off. Get your brain-dead butt up. I'd rather throw my fate coins to the pigs than give them to you. Those who disliked him began spitting venom. If you don't know how to be a savior, then just quit. You'd be better off finding a job at a factory. With so many other saviors working their butts off someone as unreliable as you, it isn't worth supporting at all. I'd rather watch Bai Mengjun on the other channel. Same, I'm watching Bai Mengjun right now. He just overcame the odds and killed two 200-year-old beasts. Plus, he's challenging an even stronger beast right now. He's so cool. Luli had her face slapped so quickly, it leaving her visibly annoyed. She glared daggers at Chumo on the screen. To be fair, Chumo isn't a cultivator to begin with. We shouldn't hold him to such high standards. Everyone in the chat, please keep your comments civil. Hearing this, the guest agreed with her. I'm with Liu Lijiang on this. At the end of the day, he's just a mortal. That one-hit kill Chumo pulled off earlier probably wasn't as effortless as he made it look. He had to dodge the beast's attacks repeatedly, wait for the perfect window, and put absolute maximum effort into that strike. Seeing him just sleeping, Yichang couldn't help but feel a bit disappointed. She suggested switching to a different stream. Chumo's current state is indeed a bit of a letdown. Though the chat mentioned Bai Mengjun earlier, why don't we head over and check out his stream? The comments section exploded. Mengjun is so handsome. Go Mengjun. Just sent you some coins. Over in Bai Mengjun's stream, a viewer commented upon seeing him, just came over from Chumo's stream. Now this guy actually looks like a reliable savior. Meanwhile, right in front of him, a demon beast with its massive jaws wide open was gathering energy to attack. It blasted a beam of demonic energy right at him, the intense force lighting up the entire area. Unable to see the outcome of the battle, some viewers left frustrated comments, "Why is the screen covered in smoke? Who won this beast's destructive power is insane." Over in Bai Mengjun's stream, the screen was still showing the beast blasting its demonic energy. Some people felt that since he was so powerful, he'll definitely be fine. There's smoke, but he isn't hurt. Bro, Mengjun will definitely be okay. Gifting coins. Gifting coins now. Come on everyone, quick. Gift some coins to bro Mengjun. With just one look, Ji Xing recognized that the demon beast Bai Mengjun was facing was a 300-year-old one. He thought the kid had gone completely mad. To go and challenge such a powerful beast right off the bat. This is a 300-year-old demon beast. He doesn't know his own limits yet. He still dared to go. challenging a 300-year-old demon beast. Is this kid looking for a death wish? Seeing him say that, Li Xiang found it puzzling. Elder Li, didn't several genius cultivators defeat 300-year-old demon beasts before? Since he had information on Bai Mengjun, he immediately explained why he said that. Unlike before, those who successfully killed the 300-year-old demon beasts were all core disciples of the four major sects. Their genius-level abilities were at the absolute peak. How can Bai Mengjun possibly stand on the same level as them? According to the records, he's just a rogue cultivator with no sect and ordinary talent. Under normal circumstances, it would already be a miracle for him to slay a 200-year-old demon beast. Challenging a 300-year-old demon beast is sheer suicide. Inside the secret realm, the thick smoke was slowly blown away by the wind. Bai Mengjun walked forward slowly. Standing tall in the wind, his voice carried a hint of disappointment. Is this really the best a 300-year-old demon beast can do? How disappointing. When will I finally meet an opponent who actually forces me to go all out? As soon as he finished speaking, he stepped right in front of the 300-year-old demon beast. The beast opened its wide mouth filled with razor-sharp teeth, staring intensely at him. Seeing him completely unharmed, his fans were absolutely thrilled, commenting, "This is amazing, Bro Mengjun is completely fine." How did Elder Li's prediction fail again? Chumo isn't even here this time. This was Bai Mengjun's live stream room. On the screen showing his face-off with the 300-year-old demon beast, someone suddenly shouted in surprise, "Look, everyone. Someone is coming out from that pile of rubble. Wow, take a look." A viewer immediately recognized the person walking out. Wait, isn't that Chumo? Who was it that just said Chumo wasn't here? In Bai Mengjun's live stream room, the screen showed Chumo, who had just woke up, walking out with a dazed look. Sensing something, Bai Mengjun turned his head as well. Seeing him walk out, the viewers couldn't help but marvel at how mysterious fate can be. Elder Li, I found the reason why your prediction flopped. Awesome, I just hopped over from Chumo's stream, and now I'm seeing Chumo in this stream too. What kind of crazy fate is this? Chumo, out of the goodness of his heart, was worried that the other guy wouldn't be able to handle this 300-year-old demon beast, so he walked out intending to lend Bai Mengjun a hand. I just took a nap, and when I woke up, my whole place had collapsed. Secret realms are indeed dangerous. Hey bro, do you need some help? That demon beast didn't look like an easy opponent, but Bai Mengjun, overflowing with confidence, rejected his offer. Just stay right there. Don't wander around. Dealing with this beast, I can do it all by myself. Bai Mengjun's sword emitted a brilliant green light. He bellowed his technique's name and slashed at the demon beast, Supreme Sword Dao Dawnlight. The flashing light was so intense it was almost blinding. The viewers watching this were completely shell-shocked. Someone even sent 4 question marks to express their sheer disbelief. That was insane. A single strike decapitated the 300-year-old demon beast. In Bai Mengjun's live stream room, when his fans saw this, they went absolutely wild. Bro Mengjun, you are too incredible. As expected of the man I admire. They thought the demon beast was completely finished, but they were wrong. It seemed this demon beast possessed an extremely powerful regenerative ability. It was still alive even after that devastating strike. Seeing this, the viewers grew anxious. How bizarre the beast's head is growing. Back, Bro Mengjun, watch your back. How is it still alive? Is it some kind of super regeneration? Bai Mengjun realized this as well. Frowning, he watched it warily. Its head, which had been practically obliterated, was now fully restored. The viewers grew increasingly anxious as they saw the beast open its mouth wide, preparing to counterattack. Furthermore, the spiritual energy radiating from it was even more intense than before. How troublesome! But Bai Mengjun wasn't about to give up just like that. He leapt into the air and brought his sword down, Supreme Sword Dao Mountain Splitter. Howling in pain, the demon beast shrieked. The sword energy carried a destructive force that rippled outward, causing continuous thunderous rumbles. Chumo looked for a safe spot to avoid being caught in, the crossfire sitting down to eat potato chips. As he munched, he couldn't help but marvel, so cool, this is way better than the movies. Every time he popped a chip into his mouth, he heard Bai Mengjun yelling out his technique names, Supreme Sword Dao Ocean Cutter, Gangjin Sword Art, Moonfall. It was as if he wasn't inside a dangerous secret realm at all, but sitting in a movie theater instead, munching on chips and drinking water while watching people fight. The viewers in the live stream were utterly dumbfounded to see that the 300-year-old demon beast still refused to die. Did this beast turn on some kind of HP hack, getting gravely injured more than 10 times and still surviving? That makes no sense. Poor Bai Mengjun is really suffering. No matter how much you hit it, it just won't die. If it were me, my mind would have snapped a long time ago. In Bai Mengjun's live stream chat, some people were about to post hate comments, but they froze when they saw his relaxed posture. They had originally wanted to call Bai Mengjun a total noob. They've been fighting for so long and the beast is still active as ever. But after looking at Suomo, I chose to shut up. It really takes a peer to make someone else stand out. Suomo's grand achievement is eating a bag of potato chips. What an intense battle comparison really brings out the pain. Meanwhile, in Li Xiang's stream, the little girl was also watching Bai Mengjun's fight. Seeing that the beast just wouldn't die no matter how much it was hit, the little girl frowned and asked, "Elder Ji Xingli, is this beast really immortal?" He glanced at her and explained, "Super regenerative beasts are the most troublesome of all. If you can't land a fatal blow instantly, then it's impossible to kill it. Normally, it takes several cultivators of the same rank working together to actually put this kind of beast down. Bai Mengjun is a great talent. For a rogue cultivator with average potential to show combat strength on par with the elite disciples of the 4 major sects. If this were the golden age of abundant spiritual energy, his achievements would be unimaginable. What a shame he is going to lose his life here." And indeed, his current condition was not good at all. After a long battle, he stood completely still, feeling that the spiritual energy in his body was almost gone. A wave of resentment surged within him. "My spiritual energy is almost depleted and my physical strength is reaching its limit. Am I really going to die here? I refuse to accept this. Even in this Dharma-ending age when spiritual energy is depleted, I still chased the footsteps of ancient myths. I gave up my family fortune, braved every trial and tribulation only to finally find a cultivation sect and be told a single sentence. Your talent is insufficient, your destiny is lacking, and the path ahead is closed to you. So I had to carve my path with my sword, fighting for every bit of destiny, snatching opportunities and seizing precious herbs." He thought of everything he had done to get to where he was today, securing the role of the savior, hiring paid internet trolls in advance to hijack viewers from other streams to get donations. "I don't feel ashamed or regretful about any of it. The path to immortality is a constant struggle. One step behind means being left behind for a lifetime. Only by seizing every opportunity can one stand at the peak. I worked so hard to attain this cultivation and swordsmanship. How can I die here so easily? The ancient secret technique I happened to learn. It has an extremely high risk of death, but now is the time to risk it all." Having decided to use the secret technique, Bai Mengjun did not hesitate to unleash it against the 300-year-old beast. His sword tip filled with powerful sword chi clashed with an equally immense wave of demonic chi from the beast. Meanwhile, Suomo sat safely in a corner eating chips, watching the fight grow more intense. He couldn't help but marvel, "Whoa, those special effects are crazy. Is this his real strength?" But once the light faded, he didn't hear any sound for a long time, which made him feel strangely anxious. Why is it so quiet? Did he get hurt? Fearing that he might die, Suomo stood up and strode toward him. "I'd better go check on him." Arriving at the scene, he looked down and asked with concern, "Hey brother, are you okay?" After using the secret technique, Bai Mengjun's body was incredibly weak. Unable to stand steadily, he leaned on his sword to keep from collapsing and replied, "I'm fine. It's over. I finally defeated this beast." But the beast wasn't dead. As the white smoke cleared, it revealed the creature completely unharmed, standing there and baring its sharp fangs at him. Bai Mengjun stared at it in disbelief. How is this possible? The beast is still alive. Seeing it about to attack, he panicked and yelled, "Watch out! Get out of the way!" But Suomo stepped forward without a shred of fear. With a wave of his hand, he shattered its attack. A blinding golden light flashed. He felt like Bai Mengjun had said something, but he hadn't heard it clearly. Turning around with a nonchalant expression, he asked, "Sorry, what did you just say? I didn't catch that." Meanwhile, after witnessing Suomo's jaw-dropping strength, Bai Mengjun felt utterly ashamed of his previous attitude. "I want to apologize for looking down on you earlier." He then looked at the beast, which had its front half blasted away, and gestured for Suomo to team up with him. "Your combat strength is no lower than mine. The 5th secret realm only has rogue cultivators and disciples of minor sects. Meeting someone like you is my good fortune. If the two of us team up, we can definitely defeat this beast." Hearing this, Suomo was a bit confused. He looked at the beast with its upper body blown to pieces and asked, "But isn't this thing already dead?" "Don't let your guard down. This is a rare, super-regenerative beast. It won't die that easily." With that, he approached the beast. Normally, to deal with this kind of creature, it would require at least 4 cultivators of the same rank, but if we join forces, we might be able to obliterate it completely. A look of worry flashed in his eyes. "The only problem is, my body is almost at its limit. We have to settle this in the next strike, otherwise we'll both end up as its prey." Suomo hadn't expected this beast to be so formidable. He rubbed his chin, feeling that he had been a bit too careless. "I get it now. Compared to you, I'm still not cautious enough. I agree to your proposal." Seeing that he had agreed to his request, the man looked at him and said, "All right. You will coordinate with my attack." He channeled spiritual energy into his sword and shouted, "We must strike at the exact moment that beast regenerates. Only then can we inflict a fatal wound. We probably have about 5 seconds to prepare myriad phenomena return to source." Bok Mong Quan gripped his sword tightly, taking a stance, waiting for the beast to wake up. Like SpongeBob. So Mok eagerly started absorbing the knowledge, watching him strike such a powerful pose. He wanted to copy it too, but felt way too embarrassed. What exactly am I preparing for during this time? Striking a cool pose. Gosh, this is so embarrassing. I'd better just fight the normal way. 5 seconds passed, 20 seconds passed, a whole minute passed. But despite the wait, the beast just lay there. There was no sign of it coming back to life. A silent awkwardness fell between the two, seeing that it was taking too long. So Mok turned to Bok Mong Quan and asked, "The beast still hasn't revived. Do we need to keep waiting?" But when he turned his head, he saw the other guy starting to cough up blood and cried out in shock, "Hey, are you okay? What's going on?" "You're coughing up blood." He forced himself to reassure Somok, I'm fine. It's just that holding this state puts too much of a toll on my body. It will pass in a moment." Only then did he finally realize that Somok's single strike had already sent that beast to meet its ancestors. This guy really took out the beast with just one blow. He does nothing but eat all day. How could he possibly get more rewards than me to boost his combat power? Or did he already possess strength far beyond mine before entering the secret realm? Getting lost in his thoughts made him forget he was still channeling his energy, pushing his body to its absolute limit. Shoot. I shouldn't have let my mind wander just now. He didn't even notice the veins bulging on his hands, the side effects of maintaining myriad phenomena for too long. Ultimately, his body simply couldn't take it anymore. Blood began pouring from his 7 orifices. He screamed in agony, "The spiritual energy in my body is out of control." His body arched backward at an angle that seemed humanly impossible. A blinding light burst from his core. Bok Mong Quan cried out in despair, "I don't want to die yet!" Boom! His core violently exploded. Thick green smoke billowed into the air, sensing the danger. So Mok leaped away instantly. He was completely clueless and utterly startled by the sudden blast. What on earth just happened? We were literally just talking. Why did this guy suddenly blow himself up? Not even his ashes were left. Naively, he assumed this blast was the work of the cunning beast. Was that the beast's attack? That is absolutely terrifying. I couldn't even sense how it attacked. We totally underestimated this thing. While it's still playing dead on the ground, I've got to get out of here right now. Talk about the most pitiful beast in the world. Even in death, it got framed. The more he thought about it, the more convinced he became, keeping a sharp, vigilant eye on the front. Meanwhile, the viewers watching the whole thing were completely dumbfounded. This makes absolutely no sense. The beast didn't even revive. Bok Mong Quan literally just blew himself up. Where are those brainless haters who were trash-talking Lord Mok earlier? Come out and face us. Why are you so quiet now? Over in Somok's livestream chat, his fans were absolutely thrilled watching this scene play out. Lord Mok is the real deal. He took down the beast with just one strike. But the haters quickly started mocking, "Oh, please, it's obvious, Somok." So, just waited until the beast and Bok Mong Quan wore each other down before stealing the kill. Have some decency, will you? I'm dying here. The guy above must be a diehard fan of Bok Mong Quan. The man himself is already dead and cold. Who are you even trying to defend? In Li Tuang's live stream room, Dich Suong rested her chin on her hand and looked at the screen, asking Kui Tin a question. What an unexpected outcome indeed. So Mok, whom Elder Lai called a mere mortal, actually unleashed such incredible power. And the genius Bok Mong Quan suddenly blew himself up. Elder Lai, what are your thoughts on this now? Receiving such a sharp question, He narrowed his eyes and glanced at her. Clearing his throat, he answered Deech Shuang's question. I am deeply sorry to hear about Bok Mong Kwan's death because he used too many high-level techniques. Beyond his limit, he exploded and died. Truly a tragic and helpless situation. As for Somok, his combat performance reminds me of a certain cultivation sect that has long been lost to time. The body refining sect is a cultivation school that mimics certain types of beasts. Dating back to ancient times, this cultivation sect mainly sought a state of unity between heaven and man. In battle, they used their own spiritual energy as bait, or rather a bridge, to trigger the spiritual energy that exists between heaven and earth, unleashing destructive power far exceeding their own strength. While mainstream cultivation sects focus on other paths, the body refining sect mimics the cultivation methods of certain beasts, using their bodies to directly refine spiritual energy, transforming it into pure physical strength. During combat, they can only rely on physical power, pushing the human body to its absolute limit. At first, their growth rate far surpassed orthodox cultivators, but even the strongest physical cultivator could only reach the combat power of a 1,000-year-old demon beast. That's why the physical cultivation school eventually declined. After finishing his explanation about the physical cultivation school, he shared his thoughts on Somok's strength, noting that fighting with pure physical power doesn't emit any spiritual energy. I suspect Somok obtained the inheritance of the ancient physical cultivation school, along with a massive amount of rewards from his outstanding performance at the start of the live stream. Because of that, he was able to display combat power that defies all logic. Meanwhile, back in the real world, Somok's former boss, President 2, was also watching Elder Lai's live stream. When he heard his analysis of Somok, he was scared out of his wits. The physical cultivation school killing a 300-year-old demon beast, is Somok really that strong? Seeing his boss in such a panic, his subordinate was confused. President 2, didn't you say earlier that we could just hire some cultivators to gang up on Somok? Besides, physical cultivation doesn't even have any real potential. Is there really any need to worry this much? Hearing this, he immediately snapped at his subordinate. You idiot. Even if a physical cultivator can only match a 1,000-year-old demon beast, did you forget what Elder Lai said? Panic was written all over his eyes. The very person he thought he could crush like an ant now possessed such overwhelming transcendent power. He turned to his subordinate and continued. Spiritual energy is completely depleted on Earth right now. The strongest cultivator on this planet only has the combat power of a 1,000-year beast. Somok is a monster who can slaughter a 300-year-old beast. The ordinary cultivators I can hire won't stand a chance against him. Seeing his boss so pessimistic, the subordinate quickly spoke up. President 2, please calm down. No matter how hopeless a problem seemed in the past, it was always easily resolved once you stepped in. This time will be no different. Encouraged by his subordinate's words, President 2 slowly snapped out of his despair and let out a long sigh. You're right. We're not at a dead end yet. The massive theme park project is being led by Lee Hanling, the third son of the Lee conglomerate. Aside from this unexpected setback, he can't expect to just wash his hands of this, no matter what. And we must drag Lee Hanling down with us and force him to give us support. Before that, we have to do everything we can to buy time. You will handle our most critical task, go to the hospital and kidnap Somok's sister. She is our key hostage. Yes, sir? Seeing his boss regain his composure and issue orders, the subordinate straightened his back and replied in a firm voice, Yes, President 2, I won't let you down. Pausing for a moment, President 2 spoke to him in a softer tone. And, tell all our boys to leave the company today. Give them the afternoon off. What? In this critical high-stakes situation, the subordinate was shocked to hear him dismissing the security team. He looked at him cautiously and said, But President 2, I was actually about to suggest that our security is too weak right now. I wanted to bring in more men. Knowing what his subordinate was worried about, President 2 reassured him, Don't worry. I haven't given up. I just don't want them throwing their lives away for nothing against a cultivator's power. I started as a nobody on the streets, and to reach where I am today, every single step I took was drenched in blood. My sins. I'm afraid only hell can wash them clean. Looking down at the city below, his voice was filled with absolute determination, refusing to bow to fate. So I'm damn sure not giving up my life easily. His face twisted into a fierce, sinister look. Before I go to hell, I want to see what it looks like from the very top. Meanwhile, back in the secret realm, Wudong's teammate was covered in wounds. He turned back and yelled at her to run. "Wudong, run quick!" Suddenly, a giant beastly tentacle ripped through the air. Before her teammate could say another word, the beast slammed its tentacle down with crushing force. Thanks to the sacrifice of her teammates, Wudong barely managed to escape in time. Leaning against the wall behind her, gasping for air, she was completely consumed by dark despair. "They're dead. They're all dead. Every single one of my teammates is dead. Fighting monsters, leveling up effortlessly without any pain and saving the world. It was all a lie. I should have never believed that garbage propaganda in the beginning, becoming a savior." With her stamina completely depleted and feeling utterly powerless against the beast, she was thoroughly exhausted. "I can't take this anymore. When will this nightmare finally end?" Realizing she was slipping into despair, Wudong tried to comfort herself. She just had to keep running until the secret realm quest ended. "As long as I can survive, that's enough." Suddenly, So-Mak appeared out of nowhere and called her name Wudong. Hearing her name, she looked up and turned to face him. She was shocked to see him still breathing. "You're that ordinary guy who showed up when the secret realm opened? You turtle, I can't believe you're still alive." Realizing her words were a bit too blunt and sounded like an insult, she frantically waved her hands to apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult you. Please don't be mad. It's really hard to believe that you could survive in this secret realm with these monsters running wild. To make it this far is truly no easy feat." But So-Mak didn't mind her slip of the tongue at all. He humbly replied, "To be honest, surviving this long was just pure luck. I still have to thank you for the sword you gave me. It's a shame, though. It ended up broken." "Oh, right. Where are your teammates?" Speaking of those teammates, her mood immediately plummeted and a deep sadness filled her eyes. They're all dead. For the sake of chasing their dreams of becoming world-saving heroes, cultivation apprentices from small dying sects like ours should have never got our hopes up. No matter how hard we try, we can never compare to the core disciples of the major sects. Face to face with a powerful beast, we aren't even worthy of being background extras. We're nothing but pure cannon fodder." Hearing this, So-Mak couldn't help but think of Bok Mong-Kwon, his short-lived teammate. The power of those beasts really was bizarre and terrifying. Not too long ago, a fellow cultivator exploded right in front of me, leaving absolutely nothing behind. To this day, he still thinks it was the beast's doing and not just that idiot accidentally blowing himself up. I couldn't even sense when the beast's attack even began. If it hadn't been for his sacrifice, the one who died might have been me. Seeing that he had lost his teammates just like her, Wudong made a suggestion. "Hey, why don't you tag along with me for now? We can find a place to hide and wait for the powerhouses to take down the final boss. Then we can finally go back to reality. If we run into danger, I'll do everything in my power to protect you." Hearing this, the viewers watching her live stream almost died laughing. What did this girl just say? She wants to protect Mokthan. Honey, wake up. The ultimate powerhouse is literally standing right next to you. Over in So-Mak's live stream chat, other viewers burst out laughing when they saw he still didn't know Bok Mong-Kwon died from his own sheer stupidity. Oh man, Mokthan is so adorably clueless. How could he not know that Bok Mong-Kwon's death was a self-detonation? What nonsense are you talking about? Mokthan is clearly just being respectful and saving some face for Bok Mong-Kwon. Stop disrespecting the dead. Meanwhile, the sky over the mystic realm began to grow dark and gloomy. To protect So-Mak, whom she believed to be an ordinary defenseless guy, Wudong walked ahead to scout the area. Stay close to me. In my experience, this area is relatively safe. Just as she finished speaking, he faintly caught a strange sound nearby. Confused, he spoke up, but I think I hear something close by. Wudong turned back confused, asking him what sound he meant. But the moment she spun around, she came face to face with the very beast that had slaughtered her entire squad. In this second mystic realm, Wudong turned and sprinted back toward So-Mak. She screamed, urging him to run, don't look back, head toward that high-rise building. Hearing her tell him to run inside, he asked in disbelief, "Are you serious? If we go inside that building, we'll have nowhere left to run." Wudong explained breathlessly as she ran, "I've encountered this type of beast before, and I actually managed to escape." As she was explaining, the beast charged at them with terrifying speed, letting out bone-chilling growls. Realizing they were moving too slowly, she swept him up in a bridal carry, shouting, "Just trust me on this. You just said this place was safe, and a second later we're face to face with a monster. How am I supposed to trust you?" So Mok, suddenly cradled in her arms like a princess, yelled in pure shock, "Whoa, hey, what do you think you're doing?" Securing her grip on him, Wudong panted, "No time to explain!" With that, she leaped forward, carrying him at full speed. "Just trust me!" Once inside the high-rise, a long hallway stretched out before them. So Mok peeked outside and sighed in relief when he saw the beast hadn't followed. Sure enough, it was nowhere to be seen. "Wow, we actually lost it. Sorry, I guess I misjudged you earlier." After carrying him all that way, Wudong was exhausted. Catching her breath, she explained, "That beast's vision is incredibly sharp, but it's completely deaf and its sense of touch is extremely dull. Stepping into a building with a complex layout actually makes it much easier to shake it off. We're safe for now, but we still can't let our guard down. Let's head to a higher floor, wait for 10 minutes, and then make our move." Knowing she was the experienced one, so Mok didn't argue and went along with her plan. "All right, lead the way." Then he remembered the floor plan he had noticed when they first entered the building. "As we were coming in, I saw the map. The stairs should be to our left." But Wudong instantly shot down his idea of taking the stairs. "No, we're taking the elevator." "Wait, what?" So Mok stared at her, utterly baffled. "The elevator." Seeing his confusion, Wudong casually adjusted her hair and said, "Wait, you didn't know. The layout of this mystic realm replicates our real-world city right down to the power grid. That means the elevators work perfectly fine." Well, of course, Somok already knew that. What he couldn't wrap his head around was why she wouldn't take the stairs for safety. No. I mean, wouldn't taking the stairs be a whole lot safer than an elevator? Wudong obviously knew that would be safer, but she was already at her physical limit. Pouting, she complained, "Sure, taking the stairs makes more sense safety-wise. But did you even consider that I've been running non-stop since entering this secret realm, and just now I had to carry you while running for so long? Do you have any idea how heavy you are? I'm completely exhausted. I don't want to take another single step." Seeing her complain non-stop, so Mok finally got it. He looked at her helplessly, thinking, "Wait, is a cultivator's stamina really this pathetic?" Hearing him say that, she snapped back in annoyance. "Do you think our normal cultivation training is just pumping iron at the gym or something?" Wudong then tried to reassure him, reasoning that those beasts were just pure muscle. "But not very bright. Taking the elevator should be fine. Besides, isn't it great to occasionally use the conveniences of modern civilization? The beast we ran into earlier wasn't smart enough to know how to use an elevator anyway." Saying this, the two of them walked to the elevator and Wudong gently pressed the up button. The two of them stared at the elevator door, waiting for it to open. When the doors finally slid apart, right in front of them were the corpses of cultivators who had the exact same thought as Wudong, at thinking that the beasts were too dumb to use an elevator. So Mok, looking completely unfazed by the unfortunate souls dead inside the elevator, told Wudong to go over and inspect their wounds. "Is this from the beast that was chasing us? It looks like some beasts have actually learned how to use the elevator." "Wudong, can you tell if the wounds on their bodies were caused by the beast that was stalking us earlier?" Wudong went over to inspect the wounds and realized they weren't caused by the beast that had chased them. Her eyes widened in shock. This was the work of a completely different beast. This building is another beast's territory. No, it might be even worse than we think. That beast was just a decoy intentionally driving us toward this building. Its goal was to team up with the beast inside this building, to trap and kill us together. She looked out through the building's glass windows. She knew that staying here was no longer a viable option. "We don't have much time left to hide." She thought for a moment, then suggested, "We need to get to a more open area. If we let them sandwich us, we're dead. We need to find a place that's spacious enough but has cover shake off one of the beasts and then get the hell out of this building." With his photographic memory, so Mok had already memorized the entire layout of the building. He immediately identified the spot Wudong was talking about. "I know just the place. The map shows a massive open-plan office on the floor above." He immediately ran ahead to lead the way. "Follow me." Finally, they reached the largest office in the building. A tentacle suddenly appeared. It belonged to the beast that had chased them across 8 blocks, sensing that it was searching around for them. So Mok asked Wudong in a panicked whisper, "Are you sure we'll be safe hiding here?" Wudong covered her mouth, trying to calm her racing heart. She whispered carefully, "It can't hear us, and no matter how good its eyesight is, it won't be able to spot us here. We should be fine." Meanwhile, the viewers watching the live stream, fully aware of Somok's godlike power, began spamming teasing comments. "Run, beast, run. If you don't run now, God Mok is going to slaughter you." Godmock looked terrified on the outside, but in reality, he was cool as a cucumber. Some viewers in the stream chat even suspected he was just acting to hype up the suspense and build tension for the stream. "Stop faking it, Godmock. It's time to slay that beast and hype up the chat." Meanwhile, the beast was still frantically looking around for the two of them. It was so cautious that it even revealed its third eye to search every single nook and cranny. Spotting this from their hiding place, Wudong immediately warned Somok, "Be careful. Don't let the eye on its tentacles spot you." Since this was the first time Somok had ever seen anything like this, he found it absolutely fascinating. He couldn't help but marvel, "Those tentacles are so flexible. The anatomy of these beasts is truly fascinating." Wudong, on the other hand, immediately jumped to the worst-case scenario. "If we get spotted, I'll try to hold the beast off. You take that chance and run." As a man hearing this, Somok couldn't actually bring himself to leave her behind to fight it alone. Besides, she was such a good person, he absolutely couldn't do that to her. "I can help too. I actually managed to knock out a really weak beast before, so if we have to fight, I promise I won't hold you back." Wudong, however, just thought he was trying to act tough. "Stop showing off. Protecting ordinary people is a cultivator's job." Fearing he might feel bad, she tried to sound casual as she added, "Just holding this beast off for a moment and escaping is a piece of cake for me. Anyway, just trust me, okay?" Right at that moment, Somok heard another sound. He could sense something heading their way. "You're the one putting on an act. Wait, shh, stop talking. I think I hear another sound coming our way. If you knew another beast was coming, you'd be scared to death." "Could it be another beast?" Wudong strained her ears to listen, but she couldn't hear a thing. "Wow, your hearing is seriously insane, though." "I don't hear a thing. You and that sharp-eyed beast should team up as Super Sight and Super Hearing and make your debut already," hearing her teasing tone. Somok said helplessly, "Is now really the time for banter? Its footsteps are incredibly light. I only just picked up on them. It must be right on top of us." Seeing his expression grow so serious, Wudong shrugged and replied casually, "But isn't this the only thing we can do right now? Just accept our fate and keep joking around." He face-palmed in resignation, realizing she actually made a lot of sense. As the two of them whispered, a shoe-lip beast stepped into the office. Feeling the overwhelming pressure from the shoe-lip beast, Wudong panicked internally. "We are so dead, and this terrifying aura. It has to be a 300-year beast." The 300-year beast placed its hand right on the desk Wudong was hiding under. She immediately covered her mouth and nose, terrified that making even the slightest sound would give her away. "How can we possibly stay hidden?" The shoe-lip beast stared ahead, seemingly exchanging glances with the tentacle beast. Meanwhile, the viewers of the live stream were completely on edge from the tense, gloomy atmosphere and couldn't help but feel terrified. Some even joked in the chat, "This is literally a horror movie." Seriously, though, if that powerhouse hiding under the desk gets caught, it'll be a horror movie for the beasts themselves. Seeing the mighty Godmock hiding under a desk like that is just too funny. In Somok's stream, the chat began excitedly placing bets on whether he could take it out with a single punch. Place your bets, place your bets. How many punches do you guys think Godmock needs to blow them to pieces? Come on, step right up. Now this is the content I signed up for. We get to see Godmock play dumb again. The eye of the tentacle beast drifted over toward Somok's hiding spot. Sensing a living breath, it cried out in its monster tongue, "Found you!" Just as it was about to peek under the desk, the 300-year beast raised its arm and smacked its hand right on the tentacle beast's head. The tentacle beast craned its neck and grumbled in monster tongue, "Boss, did you really have to do that?" "Every single time you just grabbed my head out of nowhere, that hurt." Annoyed, the 300-year beast snapped back in monster tongue, "Do you think I actually enjoy doing this? If you didn't have such terrible hearing, I wouldn't have to resort to this. Using touch to talk to you." The beast already knew Somok was hiding under that desk. Not wanting the tentacle beast to get killed, it brought up the beast that Somok had absolutely obliterated when he was with Bokmong Quan, warning in monster tongue, "That kid is a literal monster. He obliterated Tooth Decay with just one punch. Let's just pretend we didn't see a thing and get out of here." Stunned, the tentacle beast innocently whispered to the shoe-lip beast in monster tongue, "Are you serious? Then why are they the ones hiding?" Hearing this, the shoe-lip beast froze. In truth, it had no idea why either, but its raw instincts told it that this was the only way to survive. In monster tongue, it snapped, "How should I know? I'm only warning you out of the kindness of my heart. If you want to go kill yourself, go ahead, but I'm getting the hell out of here." Seeing the shoe-lip beast about to ditch it, the tentacle beast scrambled frantically to catch up, crying out in monster tongue, "Boss, I'm sorry I was wrong. Wait for me. I'm leaving too." Once the two beasts scurried away, the office fell dead silent. Hearing no more noise, Wudong carefully whispered to him, "Somak, did those beasts actually leave?" Somak crawled out of his hiding spot and glanced in the direction they had fled. "Their footsteps are completely gone," he replied. "They must have headed somewhere else." Hearing his reassurance, Wudong let out a massive sigh of relief. "Thank goodness. We got so lucky. I really thought we were cornered this time." Meanwhile, the viewers were extremely disappointed that they didn't get to see Somak demolish the two beasts. "Man, when those two showed up, I really thought we were finally going to see God Mok throw some hands. And then absolutely nothing happened. I have never seen such cowardly beasts in my life. It was a 2-on-2, and they didn't even dare to fight." In Somok's stream, some viewers couldn't help but laugh at how terrified the two beasts were. I'm literally crying, laughing. First time seeing beasts voluntarily run away. Beast survival rates the heartwarming truth behind the numbers. Suddenly, a loud system notification shattered the peaceful silence. Manhwa Mystic Realm announcement. The final boss of the first trial has appeared. Difficulty 500-year beast. Location 5th Mystic Realm Song Van Street. Both of them heard the announcement loud and clear. Somak didn't expect to face the final double S boss so soon. Wait, is this the dungeon announcement? Are we seriously having to fight the final double S boss already? Wudong made her stance clear about not getting involved. Anyway, it has nothing to do with me. This dungeon is insanely difficult. I can't believe the final double S boss is actually a 500-year-old demon beast. Seriously, that's just ridiculous. Do they expect me to actually fight a monster like that? Her plan right now was to hide in a safe spot until someone defeated that 500-year-old demon beast. For now, let's just find a place to hide and wait for those top-tier players to finish the job. Then we can just follow them out of this dungeon and we're good to go. Suddenly, she froze as she realized she was standing right in this exact neighborhood Song Van Street. The exact place where the 500-year-old demon beast is supposed to appear. Wait, are we in Song Van Street right now? Terrified out of her mind, Wudong screamed in absolute panic. Then what are we still waiting for? We need to run now. But it seemed they were already too late. A blinding beam of light erupted right in the middle of Song Van Street. Somak turned his gaze toward the source of the light. This mystic realm filled with skyscrapers everywhere has no peace left in it right now, making it impossible to imagine that demon beasts are running rampant here. After dragging Somak along and running until she was practically out of breath, Wudong stopped, panting heavily. Running all the way here, we should be safe now. Even from a distance, just one look was enough to see how terrifying that final boss is. Somak agreed with her. He felt as if he was being conned. Yeah, exactly. Even the ordinary demon beasts were already that bizarre and terrifying. And yet it turns out the final boss is only a 500-year-old demon beast that makes no sense. Could the mystic realm have given us fake news? Wudong thought for a moment and also felt that there was something fishy about this current mystic realm. Worry flashed in her eyes. Based on the mystic realm's past behavior, it was indeed possible. Anyway, as long as we stay far enough away, we won't have to worry about these things. Just then, a young man walked up and called out to them, "You two wait a moment." Ngan Ting Kim quickly introduced himself to the two of them. "I am Ngan Ting Kim, a disciple of the Tai Xuan sect. I'd like to invite the two of you to join us in defeating the final boss. But along with our Tai Xuan sect." Wudong was not stupid enough to agree to this proposal. She immediately declined. "Sorry, you should look for someone else. We are very weak. Just running away has already taken everything we've got." Seeing her refusal, Ngan Ting Kim tried to persuade her. "Avoiding the fight won't help you clear this trial." He didn't hide anything. Sinlan and laid out their current situation. The other saviors of this mystic realm are all cultivators from the 4 major sects or a few strong experts who can slay a 500-year-old demon beast. But this is the 5th mystic realm, a gathering place for small fry. The so-called cultivators here are all extremely weak. If all of us avoid the fight, we'll only end up being picked off by the final boss. A glint of determination and a strong desire to survive shone in his eyes. If we want to live, there's only one way. He raised his hand and pointed toward the building where the cultivators were standing. Fearing they still wouldn't agree, Ngan Ting Kim quickly added that his sect possessed a magic treasure capable of killing a 500-year-old demon beast. Our Tai Xuan sect has a magic treasure that can slay a 500-year-old demon beast. The Thunder Flask. However, activating it requires preparation time. Before it's ready, we must find a way to hold off the demon beast. That's why we need more people. Even though we've gathered quite a few cultivators, it's still not enough. The more people we have, the higher our chances of success. For the sake of our final victory, please join us. At that moment, La Tianhan walked out of the building. With an expressionless face, he looked at him. Gontin Kim, you're back? Much faster than expected. Gontin Kim walked over to stand by his side and reported on the recruitment. Young sect master, the recruitment is basically complete. Aside from our Tai Xuan sect disciples, the other cultivators we could find, total. La Tianhan hadn't expected the number of participants to be so small. He was slightly disappointed. 164 people, only that many. The number of people who entered the fifth mystic realm was 2,500. Gontin Kim frowned and said in a bitter tone, "No one could have expected this. For the difficulty of the mystic realm to spike so rapidly, the casualty rate among the cultivators far exceeded our expectations." Thinking of their current plight, he cautiously asked him, "Young sect master, the number of people we have now to hold off the demon beast should be enough for you to activate the thunder flask, right?" La Tianhan looked at the thunder flask in his hand and replied softly, "Yes, it's enough." Deep in his mind, his memories drifted back to that day. The thunder flask was carefully placed on the table as his father's cold voice rang out, "In our Tai Xuan sect, the thunder flask is one of our most precious magic treasures. Furthermore, it can only be used once. I didn't entrust it to you just to see you act so weak." Even though La Tianhan knew his father wanted to help him, he couldn't bring himself to do what his father demanded. "Father, I'm sorry. I can't do it." His father was furious, but he held it in and analyzed the situation for him. Is this really that hard? Gather all the cultivators in the fifth mystic realm using the pretext that the thunder flask needs time to prepare. Let them wear down the demon beast and chip away at the final boss's health. Once the demon beast has taken enough damage, use the thunder flask to finish it off. But with his kind heart, La Tianhan couldn't bring himself to commit such an inhumane act. But doing that will cause so many unnecessary casualties. Besides, isn't the thunder flask a magic treasure that can be used at any moment? It doesn't even need any preparation time. Seeing that his son refused to comply, his father's face darkened, and he glared at him fiercely. "Have you forgotten? The way to grow stronger in the mystic realm, aside from relying on rewards from the viewers, is by slaying the final boss of the realm to obtain a massive amount of destiny coins. You must get that reward." Naturally, La Tianhan could not agree to such a cold-blooded method. He immediately refused. "I don't need to rely on such underhanded methods. I can slay the final boss on my own. There's absolutely no need to dirty my hands for a petty reward. Father, do you not believe in my strength?" His father paid no heed to his words or his refusal. In his father's eyes at that moment, the fifth secret realm is the path for our sect to shine. Have you forgotten our dream? To make the Tai Hien sect a cultivation sect that can stand on equal footing with the four great sects. He placed his hand on his shoulder and spoke in an earnest tone. "In the past, if I had spoken of this idea, people would have only treated it as a joke. I have worked hard to build this sect for 35 years now, making the Tai Huian sect the strongest cultivation sect outside of the four great sects. This is already the peak of what we can achieve." Seeing him remain silent, he brought up the old story of how he was humiliated by an ordinary disciple of the four great sects to provoke him. Do you still remember being humiliated by an ordinary disciple of the four great sects? In the eyes of all cultivators, there are only two kinds of sects in this world, the four great sects and everyone else who is just trash. That is the reality. As he said this, his face darkened. Hatred and killing intent flashed in his eyes. No one treats us as equals to the four great sects. But now the secret realm has appeared. This is the greatest opportunity for us cultivators. That is why we must make absolutely sure nothing goes wrong. To stand as equals with the four great sects, strength alone is not enough. We must also win over the hearts of the people. Holding the thunder-controlling jar in his hand, he taught La Tianhan how to manipulate people. You must make the cultivators in the fifth secret realm feel terror and despair. Then you will step in like a hero to slay the beast, uniting all the cultivators in the fifth secret realm under your lead. Only in this way can we build the strength to oppose the four great sects in the future and eventually surpass them to become the greatest sect in the world. Moved by his father's words, La Tianhan was shaken. Though torn apart inside, he could only submit and say, "I understand. I know what to do, Father." Back in the present, La Tien Han couldn't shake the immense guilt in his heart. But brainwashed by his father, all he could do was silently apologize to those about to be sacrificed. "I'm sorry for the Tai Huyen sect, for my father." Looking at the cultivators in front of him, including So Mok and Wudong, he painfully muttered, "Your sacrifices are necessary." The cultivators who had agreed to buy time for the thunder-controlling jar to activate all looked toward the glowing light. Some began to doubt La Tien Han's plan. Can the thunder-controlling jar really defeat the final boss? Is buying time just an excuse to turn us into cannon fodder? The young master of the Tai Huyen sect, La Tien Han, is known for his stellar character. Surely he wouldn't lie to us. Though filled with doubts, they had no choice but to follow along. Besides, what other choice do we have? It's either trust him or wait to die in this secret realm. A brown-haired young man thought about it and agreed. "You're right. I've thought it through. Instead of waiting to die, we might as well take a gamble. If we get lucky and take down the final boss, we could get a massive destiny coin reward." His companion frowned upon hearing this, deeming him way too optimistic. Just surviving is hard enough, and you're thinking about rewards out of over 200 people. Only one will get the destiny coin reward for killing the final boss. Do you seriously think you're the chosen main character or something? As he returned, Wudong, fearing So Mok would die, kept begging him to run away. But he refused, saying firmly, "Stop trying to convince me. I'm not running away on my own." Seeing how stubborn he was, Wudong felt utterly helpless, thinking he was just trying to act tough. "Hey, you're not actually planning on fighting the final boss with us, are you? It's incredibly dangerous. What is an ordinary guy like you even doing trying to join in?" So Mok tried to explain that he wasn't weak and that he could fight alongside them. "I've received the destiny coin reward, so I have at least some combat ability. Everyone here is about to risk their lives to fight the beast. I can't just stand by and do nothing." Hearing him say he had a destiny coin, Wudong was completely taken aback. "Wait, you actually managed to use a destiny coin to boost your stats. No wonder you were allowed into the secret realm." So Mok tilted his head to look at her, making no secret of the reward he got when he first arrived. "Not long after I entered the secret realm, I got lucky and received a destiny coin that boosted my combat power once. But after that, even though I got more rewards, my power didn't increase any further." Wudong wasn't surprised by this. She simply assumed his body had reached its limit for absorbing destiny coins. Fearing he wouldn't understand, she explained it in detail. "Isn't that completely normal? If combat power could just be boosted infinitely." As she said this, Wudong stroked her chin, a mischievous glint in her eyes as she teased him. "But you know what's even weirder? You can use destiny coins, yet there isn't a single trace of spiritual energy on you. Don't tell me you're some max-level powerhouse." And hiding your identity to act like a newbie and slay low-level mobs. Knowing she was joking, So Mok played along, reciting a line he had once read in a comic, "To be completely honest with you." Hearing this line, Wudong instantly recognized that he was quoting from a comic she loved. Isn't that the classic line from I Work Out Alone? So becoming a superhero in a dungeon, even though he's incredibly strong, is he too cautious? I had no idea you liked manga too. Seeing that she knew about that series, he was quite surprised. Sumo never expected these cultivators to actually read manga. "I'm also pretty shocked that you cultivators actually read novels and manga," she noted, seeing his reaction. Yutong explained with a sigh of helplessness, "Of course we do. Did you think modern-day cultivators are all primitive cavemen living in seclusion in the mountains? Like couriers and food delivery can't reach us or something?" Yutong cast her eyes down, slightly explaining the current state of the cultivation world. "Because Earth's spiritual energy is depleted no matter how hard you train. It's extremely hard to make any progress under these circumstances. Only a handful of highly gifted cultivators are still trying their best to train diligently. Most cultivators have actively integrated into modern society. Some have even become completely obsessed with power and wealth." Meanwhile, back in the real world at Sumo's former company, the 3 cultivators invited by President Shu received a handsome deposit for the assassination. They were absolutely thrilled. "President Shu, we have received your generous gesture. You're truly incredibly generous." Seeing how satisfied they were, to ensure they would put in their full effort, he added, "That's just the deposit. Once the job is done, there will be a bonus." Hearing about the bonus, the leader became even more eager. He said solemnly, "Since we took your money, we will naturally see this through to the end. Though deploying all 3 of us just to deal with some kid, we're giving him way too much credit. But President Shu didn't comment on that. With a blank expression, he looked at the three of them and said, "Masters, I've already sent you all the files on Sumo." Inside the dungeon, he blew up a 300-year-old beast with a single punch. His strength is nothing to scoff at. The leader shrugged it off and said with complete confidence, "Don't worry, President Shu, we've never failed a mission. Sure, Sumo killed a monster in the dungeon and is super famous right now. Based on his live stream, they say he's a body cultivator. But that's just raw brute force. He lacks high-level martial techniques and he has zero experience fighting real beasts or other cultivators." At this point, a murderous, cruel look flashed in his eyes. Besides, Earth's spiritual energy is depleted. Cultivators only boost their power inside the dungeon using destiny coins. And since you can't bring all of that back to Earth, killing Sumo right now will be as easy as flicking a wrist. Seeing how confident he was, President Shu felt relieved and smiled satisfyingly. "Ah, I see. Looks like I was just overthinking things. Look at that, the dungeon's difficulty just went up again. The final boss is actually a 500-year-old beast. It looks like Sumo's group is gearing up to raid the final boss." One of the three men found this hilarious. "We might not even need to lift a finger before that beast tears Sumo to pieces. Wouldn't that make this whole trip a waste of our time?" President Shu was willing to pay a fortune just to get rid of Sumo. Plus, building a connection with these cultivators, he had nothing to lose. Flaunting his wealth, he told the three men, "Even if Sumo dies inside the dungeon, your payment will still be fully covered." Hearing this, the cultivators were even more pleased. "You're too generous, President Shu. With those words, we're completely reassured." Right at that moment, a dense aura began to seep into the office so thick it was visible to the naked eye. Feeling the immense pressure from the aura, the cultivator panicked and called it out to the leader, "Boss, look outside the door!" The leader felt the crushing pressure, too. Frowning in fear, he stared at the entrance. "What's with this insanely heavy spiritual signature?" But President Shu wasn't worried or surprised at all. Instead, he looked thrilled that the guest he was waiting for had arrived. "Oh, he's here already. I didn't expect him to be so quick." He reassured the three cultivators, "Please don't worry, masters. That is my special guest. To make absolutely sure Sumo is dealt with, I went out of my way to hire a true expert." He looked at the man radiating an overwhelming aura and introduced him to them. "He is a senior advisor from the Lee Financial Group. I hear he's a bounty hunter known as the Cultivator Assassin." Meanwhile, the 500-year-old beast materialized before the cultivators inside the dungeon. A dark, ominous voice echoed, "The dungeon rules have been breached by Otherworld Overlord 8055. Its power far exceeds 500 years. The beast of terrifying power materialized right behind Yutong, its eyes glowing with a feral purple light as it glared at her. Sumo suddenly dashed in from its right side. A mechanical voice announced, "Initiating fast battle." A blinding burst of light flared up. Standing on the rooftop, Luo Tianxing stared toward the distant open gateway. In a low voice, he asked, "Yin Xingjian, is everything set up?" He immediately reported, "Yes, young master. The cultivators have dispersed and are positioned in the area around the final boss, just as we planned. Once the beast breaks free from the beam of light, the cultivators will split into groups to lure and attack it, keeping it within the firing range of the thunder-controlling vase. Before the thunder-controlling vase is fully charged, they will do their best to help you hold back the beast." Seeing that everything had been arranged, he turned his face toward Ngantin and said, "I understand. I will use the thunder-controlling vase as quickly as possible to minimize unnecessary casualties." Meanwhile, the thunder-controlling vase was hovering in mid-air. Inside, a powerful force seemed ready to burst through the vase. On the outside, crackling sparks of electricity wrapped around it like living threads. After learning that not everyone would rush in to fight the boss, Mok asked in surprise, "So, we aren't all going to gang up on the final boss together?" Hearing the plan, Wudong massaged her aching temples helplessly. "Do you think this is a co-op game raid? If we fought head-on, our entire team would be wiped out in less than 2 minutes. Instead, we've split into 50 small groups to hit and run, taking turns drawing the beast's attention. This way we can buy enough time to activate the thunder-controlling vase." Mok still felt uneasy. But wouldn't the group acting as bait be in extreme danger? Wudong knew that all too well, but she didn't have a better option. Having lived in the cultivator world for years, she understood a harsh truth. Sometimes, you have to sacrifice the few to save the many. There's no other way. This is the Taishuan sect's plan, sacrificing the few to save the many. If anyone is unfortunate enough to get killed by the beast, they can only blame their own bad luck. But when it comes to running away, I'm actually pretty confident. Besides, before I get to see the ending of To Pay My Debt, I killed the Demon King in the starter village. I refuse to die. To lighten the heavy mood, she made a joke about her favorite manga, a super popular national hit that had been running for over 100 years. The joke took Somok's mind off the danger. Finding out they shared the same interest made him feel a warm sense of closeness. Wow, I'm a loyal reader of that manga too. During my last struggle, when things looked bleak, reading it again gave me strength and restored my love for life. Seeing how much he loved the series Wudong, I said warmly, "Oh, really? Once we get out of this secret realm, I'll introduce you to the artist." Hearing that, Somok's face lit up instantly. He asked in pure excitement, "Wait, are you serious?" He never expected her to know the manga creator Kota Shokunin, who had never attended any public events and was known as the ultimate mystery artist. I've always wanted his autograph. It was then that Wudong let him in on a secret. Kota Shokunin was actually a cultivator too. He's in our circle, though his only goal in cultivating is just to stay healthy so he can draw better manga. Somok found such dedication to the craft truly inspiring. Just the thought of meeting him made him even more excited. "He's truly a model worker. You absolutely must introduce us." Seeing his expression become so lively and full of energy, Wudong couldn't help but smile. "You once said your sister is still waiting for you. Now you have one more reason to survive. We have to make it out alive." Her words made Somok pause. He smiled gently and said in a firm, confident voice, "We will definitely make it out of this secret realm safely." The portal summoning the 500-year-old beast had gradually turned purple. A low, thunderous rumble echoed as the beast emerged, slamming its massive foot onto the ground. He stepped out of the portal and scanned the secret realm. "So this is the place. I specially requested my lord to suppress my power to the level of a 500-year-old beast." Thinking of how these cultivators would scream in terror when they saw him, his blood boiled with excitement. "I can't wait. The sweet scent of cultivators' flesh and blood. Well then, let's have some hunting fun." Staring at the cultivators ahead, he crouched low, gathering his strength to pounce. The moment they saw him, the cultivators went on high alert, drawing their weapons. "That beast has spotted us." 4 brown-haired young men frowned, keeping their eyes locked on him in intense vigilance. They planned to strike and immediately split up, but to the 5th boss, these cultivators were nothing but ants to be toyed with. With lightning speed, he slaughtered 2 of them before they could even register the pain. When his massive hand clamped onto the brown-haired young man's face, the boy still couldn't comprehend what was happening. "Damn it, what kind of speed is this?" A thick cloud of white smoke billowed, obscuring the scene. When the smoke finally cleared, he was lifting the brown-haired youth by his face with one hand. "Come on, scream louder for me!" he roared excitedly. "If you help me lure out the rest of the cultivators, I'll give you a quick, painless death." Despite being in his grasp, the youth refused to submit. Coughing violently, he sneered, "An underdeveloped beast. Who actually knows how to speak? Truly a miracle of nature." Furious at the mockery, the 5th boss tightened his grip and instantly crushed the youth's skull. I love brats with backbone, especially when I'm crushing the life out of them. Having dealt with the group, his nose twitched as he caught a human scent nearby. His gaze darted to the right. "All right, where is my next prey? The closest scent is on the right." Unfortunately, Wudong happened to be the closest cultivator to him at that very moment. She was completely unaware that she was about to become his next target as she wandered around. Meanwhile, the 5th boss sniffed the radiating spiritual energy. From the scent alone, he could estimate how many people were hiding in each spot. "I can smell your spiritual energy. Even though you've split up to hide, there are at least 2 or more people in every group." But looking at Wudong, who was entirely on her own, he felt deeply puzzled and curious. "But over here, there's only her. I'm really curious about the reason." Standing before the 5th boss, she didn't show any fear or panic at all. Instead, she looked completely calm and was even in the mood to make jokes. "No way. You couldn't even tell this much. Handling a weakling like you, I can do it all by myself." Provoked by her trash talk, he let out a low chuckle and said out loud, "What an interesting woman. Let's see what you've got." Wudong immediately did as he said. She unleashed her ultimate attack, sending a pinkish-purple wave of spiritual energy blasting straight toward him. "Just as you wished." The spiritual energy surged wildly, spreading everywhere, lighting up the entire area. But even after taking Wudong's direct hit, his body didn't have a single scratch on it. This left him utterly disappointed. How pathetic. Is this really the best you can do? You modern cultivators are so weak it's laughable. Just then, out of nowhere, Mok appeared right on his right flank. He concentrated his power into his fist and raised it high. Gathering his strength to deliver a devastating strike once his power fully charged, he slammed his fist into the ground. The homing wave of spiritual energy surged directly toward the fifth boss. Sensing the danger immediately, he swiftly dodged out of the way. It was his body's raw instinct that forced him to dodge. This surprised even him. To think, I actually dodged unconsciously, knowing someone exists who can make a being of my strength. Dodge on pure instinct. Instead of being afraid, he grew even more ecstatic. How interesting, this is absolutely thrilling. To think there's actually a master like this among these cultivators. Come on, let's have a real fight. But by the time he snapped back to his senses, Mok was nowhere to be found. Where did he go? Did he run away? Meanwhile, at Li Tuong's live stream room, the young girl had been watching the battle intently. Having heard the system announcement as well, she expressed her confusion about the fifth boss being a mutant. The final boss of the fifth secret realm is a mutant. What does mutant mean? Dich Sung, who had read extensively on the subject, immediately answered her question. According to the materials provided by the production team, the stronger a magic beast is, the more human-like its appearance becomes, and the final boss of the fifth secret realm, and has already begun transforming into human form. Under normal circumstances, only beasts over 800 years old display this trait. Hearing that this was a trait of an 800-year beast, Li Tuong gasped in shock. Isn't that totally cheating? They clearly said the final boss was a 500-year beast. Now an 800-year beast shows up, and in the fifth secret realm, which has the weakest average power level, unlike the young girl, Qui Tin had seen too much to be worried. He knew that the opponent's power level had been suppressed to the 500-year level, though it would still be a tougher fight. The secret realm's announcement won't be wrong. It's just that even though they are both 500-year beasts, the difficulty of the final boss in the fifth secret realm far exceeds that of the other secret realms. Dich Sung suddenly asked a tough question. But for such a strong beast, to have to dodge Mok's attack. Elder Lai, what is your take on this? This question really put Qui Tin on the spot. He quickly pulled out a handkerchief to wipe the sweat from his face, staying silent. Unable to come up with an answer after thinking it over, he could only give a forced smile and ask to answer later. On this point, I'll reserve my judgment for now. Let's switch the camera back to the first secret realm first. The final boss of the first secret realm was entering its final moments. Back in the fifth secret realm, Wudong had managed to escape because Mok drew its attention. Now standing in a relatively safe corner, the big talk she just pulled almost got her killed. Just thinking about it made her feel like her heart was about to stop. She sighed, I almost died. Talking big in front of the final boss was way too thrilling. I almost had a heart attack. According to the plan, I was supposed to attack first, to distract the beast, and then Mok would take the chance to ambush it and safely provoke it. But thinking about his power just now, the more she thought about it, the more frustrated she felt. That bastard Mok, he's clearly stronger than me, yet he acted all scared in front of me. I wasted so much time worrying about him. And in the end, even the final boss was so startled by his sneak attack that it fled. At this point, Wudong paused. She realized she didn't even know if the beast was pursuing them. Wait, the final boss didn't chase after us. It couldn't be that it was so startled that it lost track of us, right? If it runs out of the range of the lightning control flask, it's going to be a real pain. But unfortunately, the fifth boss had already tracked Wudong down by her scent. Standing right behind her, he muttered in a low voice, What a shame. A dark, wide grin stretched all the way to his ears as he continued. My target was actually your teammate, but unfortunately I couldn't catch up to his spiritual energy. But then it suddenly hit me. If I kill you, maybe I can lure him right back here. Wudong was completely frozen in place by his overwhelming pressure. Feeling her body stiffen, she panicked. What's happening? I can't move at all. My body feels completely frozen. Oh no. I'm dead, I'm so dead. The 5th SS rank boss swipes its razor-sharp claws at her, but luckily, Mok arrives just in time to block the blow. Seeing him reveal himself, the 5th SS rank boss smiles with satisfaction. Impressive human powerhouse. You've finally shown yourself. Let's pick up where we left off, shall we? The live stream viewers are ecstatic as they watch this. The chat explodes with comments cheering, Mok on, kill him, beat him down. God Mok is finally making his move. Can you all pipe down a bit? Things aren't looking good. Didn't Elder Lee say earlier that the final SS rank boss's power is far beyond a 500-year-old demon beast? Some believe in his strength, but others remain skeptical. They feel like Somak isn't really all that strong anyway. Didn't God Mok run away earlier anyway? I bet God Mok himself isn't even sure of his chances. LMAO, don't you know God Mok's caution is directly proportional to his strength? I want to see the lightning-controlling vessel hurry up and show us. Suddenly, a burst of purple light flares up, illuminating the area where a few cultivators are hiding nearby. Witnessing this scene, along with the endless sounds of combat, they are absolutely shocked. There's no way. Is this a mistake? The sounds of battle are endless. Someone is actually fighting the final SS rank boss head-on. A dark-skinned guy stares intently toward the commotion, thinking this is his golden opportunity to steal the victory and reap the rewards. This is our chance. His companion, hearing this, thinks he has completely lost his mind. Our chance? Are you out of your mind? You're not planning to steal the kill on the final SS rank boss, are you? Blinded by greed, he says with utter confidence, "What's there to fear? We've got to risk it all to strike it rich. Don't tell me you don't want the reward for slaying an SS rank boss. If the two of us strike together and get the rewards, we'll split them 50-50. Hearing this, his companion starts to waver and finally decides to go all in. Fine, let's do it. The risk is massive, but I don't want to pass up on this opportunity either. Remember, we split the rewards 50-50. You better not go back on your word. Seeing his partner agree, he flashes a smug grin. We've worked together so many times already. Don't you trust me by now? Besides, we have that nameless powerhouse holding the demon beast down. We have absolutely nothing to fear. Meanwhile, the 5th SS rank boss swings its razor-sharp claws towards Mach. His deep booming voice echoes, "Isn't this just perfect?" Luckily, right before the claws strike, Mach, he leans back and barely dodges. The sheer speed of the boss's attacks catches him off guard. This split-second lapse in concentration gives the 5th SS rank boss the perfect opening. It drives a heavy fist straight into Mach's stomach, roaring, "Where do you think you're looking?" The blow is devastating, sending Mach flying backward until his body crashes violently into a nearby building. Seeing that Mach has taken his full-force punch directly, and yet still has the strength to fight the boss, is absolutely thrilled. To think you can still stand. My instincts were spot on. After just a few exchanges, the boss figures out that Mach doesn't know how to wield the massive power dormant inside him. You have an immense power hidden inside you, yet you don't even know how to use it. What a waste. Meanwhile, Mach's haters, seeing him take a direct hit from the SS rank boss, rejoice. One comments, "Who was the one hyping up Mach earlier? Always calling him God Mach, but in the end he's just a punching bag. You can never count on him when it actually matters." Another viewer, thoroughly annoyed, fires back, "If you're so talkative, why don't you go fight the demon beast yourself?" The hater reads the reply and immediately starts furiously typing away LMAO. "Since when do you need to be a chef to judge if a restaurant's food tastes good? Do I have to be a savior just to criticize why should I fight the demon beast?" In Mach's stream, some neutral viewers also speak up, urging everyone to donate to him. "Stop arguing over this, it's pointless. Seriously, anyone with some spare cash should support God Mach with some donations. Throwing money at him is useless. Looking at God Mach's pathetic state, we might as well wait for the lightning-controlling vessel." Back in the secret realm, the 5th SS rank boss launches a frenzied assault on Mach. Its strikes move almost at the speed of light. Seeing Mach barely struggling to defend against the barrage, the boss acts magnanimous and advises him to just give up and let it finish him off. "No matter how hard you fight back, if your wounds keep piling up like this, it's over for you. Then your body is going to give out soon anyway. Let me end your misery." After unleashing a flurry of combos, he stopped his entire body tensing up as he gathered strength to deliver the final blow. But suddenly, at this exact moment, a cord wrapped tightly around his ankle. It was Wudong. She screamed the name of the technique in her head, controlling the whip to wrap tightly around the body of the 5th boss, glimmering bind. Only then did he realize his entire body was bound by a wrapping cord. He tried to break free, but he couldn't even budge. The 5th boss finally started to panic. What kind of move is this? "I can't move anymore. I'm screwed." Seizing this opportunity, Mach gathered his strength to strike back. He delivered a thunderous punch right to the 5th boss's face, sending him flying and crashing hard into a high-rise building. After using the whip, Wudong coughed, "Cough, cough." She clutched her numb, lifeless arm, crying out in pain. What kind of trash weapon is this? It drained all of the spiritual energy in my body just to hold that beast for less than a second. And it even hurt me instead. It hurts like hell. Did I break my right arm? She looked over at Somak and whispered, I can only help you this much. Somak, don't you dare die. At this moment, Somak remained in his punching stance, staring at the fifth boss lying on the ground. He knew all too well that his last strike hadn't really injured the beast. Not only that, he could also feel his own body starting to ache. Even though he had caught the beast off guard and attacked, he hadn't caused any major damage. Worst of all, even though I'm not hurt, my body is starting to go numb. The hidden power inside me that the beast mentioned. How on earth do I unlock it? Mid-thought, he heard the sound of rushing footsteps. Someone's coming. It was those two guys from earlier watching from afar. They saw the fifth boss fall and thought their chance had come. They rushed over, eager to steal the kill. This is perfect. We got here right on time. The boss is heavily wounded and down on the ground. Let's finish him off together. His lackey quickly replied, yes, boss, seeing them charge in. Somak tried to warn them, shouting, hey, stop, don't go near it. This beast is still dangerous. But that greedy guy didn't appreciate it at all. He even thought Somak was lying to him. You think I'll believe you? We finally managed to knock down the boss, and now someone else is about to steal the reward. You must hate seeing that, right? Too bad the reward is ours. But before he could finish his sentence, the words caught in his throat. His own comrade had betrayed him, driving a sword straight through his chest. As blood spilled out, his partner's voice rang out cold and sinister. The reward is mine. With blood pouring from his mouth, he couldn't believe his teammate had stabbed him in the back at a moment like this. Damn it! Didn't you say we'd split the reward evenly? Far from feeling guilty, his partner scoffed at him. Who are you to judge me, even if I didn't make a move? As someone with your personality would have definitely killed me to keep the reward for yourself I just struck first. What's wrong with that? To think I'd be the one to kill the boss. Just then the fifth boss woke up. He opened his eyes and glared at the man, having overheard his boastful words upon waking. Irritated, the boss reached out his claws toward the man. Who did you say you wanted to kill, you annoying little bug? Don't interrupt my fight. Under his crushing pressure, the man was frozen in place. Unable to move, he finally began to regret his actions. What kind of joke is this? Wasn't this beast on the verge of death? If I had known, I never would have come here. High above, La Tien Han and Ngan Tin Kim stood on the rooftop, watching it all unfold. Looking down, La Tien Han whispered, to think the final boss would turn out to be a beast. Menasan. And a humanoid one at that. This is definitely not the difficulty level of a 500-year-old beast. Fearing his master was worried, Ngan Tin Kim quickly reassured him, Young master, the lightning control jar is a magic treasure. Our Tai Huiyan sect's most precious treasure. It is more than capable of slaying a 700-year-old beast. There is no need to worry. Yet he kept his eyes glued to the scene below. What worried him? Wasn't the lightning control jar, but Somak's safety. I'm not worried about whether the lightning control jar can slay the beast. What really concerns me is that young man fighting the beast. But in La Tien Han's eyes, Somak's body right now was emitting an incredibly powerful aura. Thinking of his own talent, he let out a bitter smile. To think a genius like him exists outside the four major sects. And even the core disciples of the four major sects can't compare to him. His talent is truly enviable. Ngan Tin Kim could see this too. But he still felt Somak couldn't win the fight. Against the fifth boss's raw power, an ordinary cultivator would never stand a chance of even interfering. But looking at the situation right now, no matter how strong that man is, he won't last long against a beast that far outclasses him. Sensing that time was running out, he quickly asked about the lightning control jar. Young master, how much longer until we can use the lightning control jar? If we can coordinate our attack with his, we can definitely slay that beast. La Tien Han immediately replied, You don't have to tell me, I'm already doing my best to speed up the activation of the thunder-controlling vessel. To avoid losing a genius like Somak, he did his absolute best to speed up the activation. For such a genius to die a tragic death at the hands of a demonic beast would be a devastating loss for all of us cultivators. And not just us, but the entire world. For the sake of the cultivation world, he was determined not to let Somak die no matter how difficult it might be. I must also do everything I can to save him from the beast. At this moment, the fifth S-class boss had finished dealing with the one he considered an obstacle and turned his attention to finishing off Vu Dong. You little bug who got in the way of my fight. Now it's just you left. seeing him shift his target to her. So Mach frowned and yelled, "Hey, Mutt! Your opponent is me! Don't get your targets mixed up!" Hearing this, the 5th S-Class boss paused. He glanced back at Somok and said, "I've always hated using magic to aid me in battle. The strong only need pure violence to resolve everything." As he said this, a sinister gleam appeared in his eyes, however human. "Today I am willing to make an exception for you. Shadow Prison." Suddenly a wave of dark mist erupted beneath Somok's feet. Looking at the dark mist surrounding him, his eyes widened in shock as he cried out in his mind, "What?" Looking at his shadow prison completely trapping. "So, Mach the 5th, S-Class boss said with satisfaction, "this is my innate magic enough to hold you for a while." He reached his hand out toward Wudong, who at this moment had fallen unconscious due to his power. "With your strength, escaping this cage will take at least 20 seconds. Having this brief moment is more than enough for me to kill your teammate 10 times over. If you want to save your teammate, then try breaking past your limits. Otherwise, you'll only find a mangled corpse." Inside the shadow prison, so Mach fell silent upon hearing this, frantically punching the barrier of the dark cage. He cursed the 5th S-Class boss non-stop. "Bastard, is this dirty trick the only thing you know how to do?" Seeing that he had successfully riled Somok up, the 5th S-Class boss smirked maliciously and let out a cold remark. "I was only joking. No need to wait for you. I'm going to kill her right now." But at that very moment, Somok shattered this prison. He roared, "Is that so? You've run out of chances?" What the 5th S-Class boss didn't expect him to break free so quickly. "How is this possible? How did you get out?" He hadn't expected his shadow prison to actually help him understand how to wield his own power. At this moment, Somok's eyes had turned a bronze gold. He smirked and looked coldly at him. "Maybe I should thank you. Thanks to your prison, it seems I've finally figured out how to use my power." Even though Somok had escaped his shadow prison, and the 5th S-Class boss was surprised, he wasn't too worried. This only made him even more intrigued. "Interesting. You really do surprise me. As a reward, I'll give your teammate back to you." With that, he released his control over her. Wudong, who was still unconscious, immediately fell backward, seeing her like that. So Mach was incredibly worried. He rushed over and shook her. "Wudong, wake up. Can you hear me?" Seeing how worried he was about her, the 5th S-Class boss kindly reminded him, "Don't worry, she's still alive. She's just temporarily lost consciousness. That way you won't be able to run away so easily." His actions had genuinely angered Somok. His golden pupils glared coldly at him. "Run away before I beat you to a pulp. I'm not going anywhere." Like his tail had been stepped on, the 5th S-Class boss suddenly bristled and roared in anger. "Don't get cocky. You just got lucky and broke my weakest spell. Taste this." He channeled demonic energy into his palm and shouted his move's name, Shadow Flow. But while this powerful attack was meant to injure him, Somok effortlessly swiped his hand and shattered it. Being able to break his magic so easily made him feel a bit disappointed. Somok looked at him coldly and said, "Is that it? Is this your second weakest spell? Got anything a bit stronger than this?" Seeing his move shattered, the boss grimaced, his gaze turning fierce. "This power. I truly underestimated you. Strong human, I will no longer insult you with weak, unfamiliar magic. I will devour your flesh and keep your skull as a trophy after that." But while he was rambling, Somok had already teleported right in front of him. Placing a finger against his stomach, he said in annoyance, "Enough, you talk way too much." But this godlike speed sent a nameless fear rising in his chest. "How is this possible? This kid got so close to me in an instant. He's just a mere human." But before he could do anything, Somok channeled his spiritual energy and blasted him. A golden light flashed, accompanied by a painful scream from the 5th S-Class boss. As if to justify using his spiritual energy, Somok brought up his cheap trick. "You said you wouldn't use magic to fight me anymore, didn't you? Then what on earth is this? And what about that shadow swap decoy trick? The 5th SS-Class boss, whom he had just shattered, is left as only a tiny fragment sizzling on the ground, but with its extraordinary ability to regenerate from just that single piece. His body slowly pieces itself back together. Clutching his face, he questions his very existence. Human? Are you seriously human? How could you train your physical body to such a level? You're more of a monster than I am. But with the pride of a powerful being, he refused to let himself show fear in front of Somok. He boldly talked big, demanding that Somok pay the price. Sure, you killed me once, but you will live to regret this. to enter this secret realm. My power was suppressed. But unfortunately for you, this death has unlocked my power limits. Start praying. Under the rules of this secret realm before you can kill me. How many seconds can you survive when I unleash my full power? At the high-rise building, Montin Kim turned to La Tianhan with a look of astonishment and asked, "Young master, did you see that? It's truly unbelievable. That cultivator actually gained the upper hand against the monster." Hearing this, La Tianhan just gave a casual grunt. Coincidentally, his eyes were fixed on the thunder-taming bottle. Montin Kim hesitantly asked, "Young master, do you mean—" It turned out that while Somak was fighting the 5th SS-class boss down below, La Tianhan had taken that opportunity to speed up the activation of the thunder-taming bottle. Now that it was ready for use, he continuously channeled spiritual energy into it and said, "The thunder-taming bottle is ready. It is time to end this secret realm mission." Hearing that the thunder-taming bottle was fully activated, Montin Kim was overjoyed and cried out, "That's great! Young master, let's go help right away!" But a sudden burst of light startled him. Wait, that monster. Unbelievably, after the light flared up, the monster's seal was broken. Seeing this, Montin Kim was scared out of his wits. Oh my god, that monster is getting even stronger. The spiritual aura is too terrifying. An 800-year-old monster, or maybe a 900-year-old one. It might be even stronger. This is the first time a secret realm mission has featured such a monster. Do they want us all to die here? La Tianhan's extremely confident expression from just moments ago completely froze. This move by the monster was no different from a slap to his face. Not noticing his expression, Montin Kim hurriedly approached him and asked, young master, are we still going to help?" At this point, who would even dare to charge in, with a face like a funeral? La Tianhan let out an "oh," and to protect his dignity and his life, flat out lied. The preparation time for the thunder-taming bottle hasn't actually finished yet. I guessed wrong. He could fool Montin Kim, but the viewers watching the stream saw right through his lie. The comments started flying, calling him out. Seeing the monster get stronger, he instantly turned coward. "You sure changed your tune fast?" I knew it. At critical moments, we still have to rely on Lord Mock. In La Tianhan's live stream room, someone couldn't help but mock him. "So earlier you were just trying to steal the credit. Your game sense is great, just don't join the party next time." A purple light flashed and spread across the surrounding area. At this moment, after breaking his seal, the 5th SS-class boss returned to his human form. His demonic energy was now even stronger than before, and not only that, a ferocious wolf head also appeared on his hand. He had finally restored his original form. Looking at his current human appearance, Somak felt that this guy was a real hypocrite. "You are so fake. From the very beginning you looked down on humans, yet in the end you transformed into a human. I think you were actually a bit cuter when you were just a puppy." Infuriated by those words, he roared in anger, "Shut up! I am different from your trash race!" Gathering demonic energy through the wolf head on his hand, he looked at Somak with supreme confidence and said, "You guys are just food. Only we, the monsters, represent the ultimate evolution of living beings." As he finished speaking, the wolf head immediately lunged forward. Opening its wide maw, it tried to devour him. From Li Tuang's live stream room, an excited voice echoed, "The strategies for the 1st S-Class boss to the 4th S-Class boss in the secret realm have all been successfully completed. This is truly thrilling. I'm getting so pumped up." Ditch Sung was so swept up by this battle scene that her blood was boiling. Looking at the screen, she expressed her gratitude to the cultivators. "My fellow viewers, I believe you are all just as moved as I am. We would like to thank the cultivators once again for risking their lives in battle." Quitin also immediately chimed in, reminding everyone not to forget the sheer power of the gods in the other world. "It is absolutely unquestionable. It even directly affected the secret realm, forcibly raising the difficulty of the mission. To be able to achieve such a combat result, I am both very surprised and incredibly glad." Li Tuong, now acting as the host, saw that the two had finished their commentary on the previous Secret Realms stream. The young girl then proposed checking out the 5th Secret Realm. She could only gasp. "I really underestimated the miraculous secret realm created by our predecessors as well as the efforts of the younger generation of cultivators. If the 1st to 4th secret realms have been successfully cleared then, let's turn our screens once again to the nail-biting 5th realm specifically, so Mock's live stream room. Here we can see The appearance of the 5th SS rank boss on screen. Seeing his human form, the young girl gasps in shock. What on earth is this? Is this the final boss's second form already? Even Tin didn't expect the 5th SS rank boss to be a humanoid beast. The anxiety in his eyes is plain to see. A human form. The final SS rank boss is actually a humanoid beast. Only a beast that has lived for over 1,000 years can evolve into human form. Hearing that it's a 1,000-year-old beast, Deech Shuang is completely taken aback. She looks at Tin with sheer worry. A 1,000-year-old beast. This is a serious violation of the rules. Tin begins to analyze and estimate Somok's current combat power. From what I can tell, a 500-year-old beast has a combat power of around 2,000 or so. But a 1,000-year-old beast, its power is around 10,000. This is the level of the absolute peak cultivator on Earth based on what he's capable of. As he speaks, his voice loses its usual composure, which means that boy Somok is fighting against that beast, who is literally the strongest entity on Earth inside the realm. Somok and the 5th SS rank boss clash furiously. Both possess godlike speed, and every single blow they exchange resounds with a deafening crack, even against such a formidable opponent. Somok shows no sign of being pushed back. Channeling more spiritual energy into his hand, he throws a heavy punch. This single strike sends the boss crashing down from the sky, slamming hard into the ground. A thick cloud of dust billows up, completely shrouding his body. Yet sensing the boss's energy, Somok can tell the beast is still weaker than him. Somok looks down at him, showing his disappointment. Hey, Mutt, is that really all you've got? Honestly, I'm a little disappointed. The 5th SS rank boss slowly struggles back to his feet. His face darkens with rage as he growls, "You think you've won?" Looking up, he lets out a menacing smirk and reveals why he was holding back. In your dreams, to delay being detected by the realm's cameras, I was only using 30% of my power just now. Hearing that he was only using 30%. Somok's disappointment turns into a sigh of relief. Ah, hearing you say that actually puts my mind at ease. Just now I was only using 20% of my power. As if trying to one-up him, he suddenly corrects himself. Wait, my bad. Actually, I was only using 1/10 of my power. Knowing the guy is just trying to one-up him, Somok scoffs. Oh, is that so? Well, then your math skills must be absolutely terrible. With that, they charge at each other once again. The heavy thuds of their clashes echo continuously through the stream. Some viewers who just came over from the First Realm's stream are absolutely thrilled by the sight. I just hopped over from the First Realm's live stream, and I used to think magic effects were cool, until I saw Somok. Now this is how real men fight. Meanwhile, in Somok's live stream, other viewers who had placed bets on him, seeing how incredibly strong he is, feel incredibly lucky that their money is safe. Thank goodness I put all my money on Somok. Let's go, boys, follow him. I mean, Somok is already this ridiculously strong. Maybe we should donate to the other cultivators to boost their combat power instead. Meanwhile, the leader sitting in President 2's office is also watching Somok's stream. Frowning at the flood of comments rushing across the screen, he grumbles in frustration. How weird, I already posted a comment. But why is everyone suddenly turning on me? His teammate, seeing him still glued to the stream, feels his efforts are completely pointless. Boss, are you still watching Somok's stream? Trying to convince those viewers not to donate to Somok is completely useless by now, but the leader believes his actions are absolutely necessary. Hearing his teammate's words, he snaps back. What do you know, if Somok's power drops even a little, there's a higher chance he'll get eliminated by the beasts. Wouldn't it be sweet to just sit back and make easy money? By the way, where is Lao San? What's taking him so long in the restroom? At the mention of Lao San, the teammate avoids eye contact, looking guilty. He hesitates before revealing the excuse Lao San gave. He just texted me saying he suddenly remembered he forgot to feed his cat, so he had to head home for a bit. Hearing this ridiculous excuse, the leader instantly realizes that Lao San got cold feet and ran away. He leaps to his feet and roars in anger. That bastard chickening out already! Somok might be strong inside the realm, but isn't that only because of the viewer donations? Once he leaves the realm and loses those powers, he'll be nothing to fear. But mid-sentence he freezes. A sudden wave of doubt washes over his eyes. Nothing to fear. The leader's face goes completely blank as he weighs whether to play it safe or go all out. but the more he thinks, the darker his expression gets. Finally, he immediately walks over to President 2. Wearing an embarrassed smile, he uses the scooping litter box excuse to make his escape. President 2. I'm so sorry, I just remembered I forgot to scoop my cat's litter box. I need to run home real quick, but I'll be right back. Their intense battle finally alerts the system. Detecting that the 5th SS rank boss is a high-level beast, it immediately broadcasts an announcement to everyone. Realm announcement. The combat power of the final SS rank boss has been detected to exceed the upper limit of the F rank quest, reaching the level of a 1,000-year-old beast. The elimination process will automatically begin in 1 minute. The 5th SS rank boss heard this too. He clicked his tongue in regret. Tisk found out already, that was fast. I originally wanted to settle our score before the secret realm noticed us. My apologies, strong human. But how could Somak let him escape? He was going to play this game to the very end, channeling spiritual energy into his fist. Somak growled, "What nonsense are you talking about? Don't we still have 1 minute left? Don't worry, I'll finish you off before then. I won't leave you with any regrets." The 5th SS rank boss chuckled. "I didn't expect you to be so fired up." This thrilled him to no end, and he decided to spend the remaining 1 minute fighting Somak. So you're finally starting to understand the joy of battle. Well then, human, before our time is up, let's have some real fun. As the two clashed, the system began its countdown. 50 seconds remaining. Meanwhile, back in the real world inside Director 2's office at Somak's former company, Director 2 was no longer sitting at his desk and the office was dead silent. He turned to Advisor Chow and brought up the 3 cowardly cultivators who had fled. "The 3 cultivators I hired have deserted. Are you absolutely sure you can handle Somak?" Sensing Director 2's lack of trust, Advisor Chow countered, "What are you scared? Most modern cultivators lack combat experience. They only bully the weak and fear the strong. There's no need to worry about those 3 useless runaways. I never expected them to be of any help anyway." Even so, Director 2 couldn't shake his anxiety. He suggested asking the higher-ups to send reinforcements, but Somak's performance in the secret realm went way beyond our expectations. To ensure we succeed, shouldn't we contact young Master Li and ask him to send more people, or maybe reach out to other executives in the Lai group? But Advisor Chow would do no such thing. Doing that would basically admit I'm useless. Do you want me to report my own incompetence to my boss? Or do you want to blow up the issue of the project deficit? For the amusement park project causing young Master Li Konghan to lose face in front of his family. Fully confident in his own abilities, he reassured Director 2, who was shaking in his boots. "Don't worry. Excluding his bonus buffs, his combat power and mine are about equal. But a true life-and-death battle isn't decided just by raw power or combat stats. It's decided by experience. Although he has extraordinary potential, he lacks combat experience, and that will be his downfall." While they were talking inside the secret realm, Somak and the 5th SS rank boss had already traded over 100 moves. Heavy flesh-tearing blows resounded as the two clashed at a speed that was almost invisible to the naked eye. Meanwhile, the system's mechanical voice counted down, 20 seconds remaining, 10 seconds, 10 seconds remaining. The 5th SS rank boss barely managed to dodge a lethal punch. 5 seconds remaining. Both of them fought with every split second they had to see who would be the one to fall. As the clock reached its final seconds, 3 seconds remaining. Somak paid no attention to the timer. Instead, he unleashed an even more devastating punch toward the boss. Fortunately, at this very last second, his punch killed the 5th SS rank boss. Instantly receiving the update, the system made a global announcement to all cultivators in the realm. System announcement. The final SS rank boss of the 5th secret realm has been defeated by the savior, Somak. Due to the final SS rank boss's combat power exceeding the limit, the mission's difficulty has been adjusted. The savior. Somak's original reward was 2 million destiny points. Having slain the 5th SS rank boss, Somak quietly looked at the corpse lying on the ground. The live stream viewers still found it hard to believe. They felt like Somak was the real hacker here. Obviously, the monster hacked to deal with a newbie mission, but why do I feel like Godmok is the one hacking? Godmok was the first to harvest so many rewards, so it makes sense that he's this powerful. Inside Somak's live stream room, everyone had heard the announcement of his 2 million reward. They all held a brief moment of silence for the future monsters. Now that the secret realm rewarded Godmok with another 2 million, his future missions, why, it will definitely end with quick defeats for his opponents. Let's take a second to feel sorry for the monsters. but some noticed his solemn expression and asked in confusion, "Doesn't Somok's expression look a bit too serious? He clearly won. And he got so many rewards too." Someone who had been watching from the start immediately explained, "Are you a new fan who just joined the stream? Godmok has always been like this. The smoother things go, the more cautious Godmok becomes." Inside Somok's livestream chat, they felt that his extreme caution was precisely what kept him alive until now. Perhaps this very attitude is the reason why Godmok was able to become so powerful. This was the exclusive panel of the secret realm that only Godmok could see. The cold mechanical system voice announced, "Secret Realm Announcement Reward of 400,000 Destiny Points. The Destiny Coins from your quest have been credited to the Savior's account. All new functions for Destiny Coins are now unlocked. In addition to boosting your combat power, you can also exchange your Destiny Coins for elixirs and other equipment and supplies in the Secret Realm's general store." Chumo frowned as he stared at the notification panel. Looking at his remaining balance, he was shocked. "Wait! Where did my 1 million Destiny Coins go? App commission, channel fees, marketing expenses. You've got to be kidding me. Have cultivators really kept up with the times to this extent? Besides, using Destiny Coins to boost my combat power 50% to the limit should also be useful in the Secret Realm's general store." Meanwhile, Wu Yudong had just woken up. Walking over in complete shock, she asked Chumo, "You seriously scared the life out of me? Did you really defeat that giant wolf-headed boss?" Seeing her suddenly stand up like that, he said in a worried voice, "Yudong, why are you up? Hurry and lie back down. You're badly injured. If you keep moving around like that, your bones will break. We have to get you to a hospital as soon as we're back." Yudong realized that he had no idea that when a secret realm ends, all injuries automatically heal. She quickly explained, "Once a secret realm quest is completed, any savior inside gets healed automatically. See? My wounds are completely gone." Hearing that she was healed, Chumo breathed a sigh of relief. "Ah, so that's how it works. Looks like the secret realm can be useful once in a while." Realizing that he might also be hurt, she asked with concern, "Wait, are your wounds not healed yet?" He honestly replied, "No, I didn't get hurt at all." Hearing this, Yudong was even more dumbfounded. She could hardly believe her ears. "Wait, you didn't get hurt at all, and yet you killed that giant boss all on your own. Is this what the world of a true master looks like? Are you sure you're not some top disciple of a hidden sect or some cultivation genius born 1,000 years ago?" Hearing this, Chumo helplessly replied, "Where do you even get these crazy ideas? I'm really just an ordinary guy." Suddenly, a strange sound echoed as the secret realm began to fade. Chumo looked at this confused. "What's happening?" He then realized the secret realm was collapsing. Having seen this before, Yudong was completely unfazed, already daydreaming about her bathtub at home. The secret realm quest is complete. So of course, we're going back to our world. The very first thing I'm going to do is take a long hot bath and get a good night's sleep. Hearing that they could finally go back, Chumo was thrilled. "Really? We're finally going back. So much has happened. It's only been half a day, but it feels like a whole month. It's just so good to make it back to reality in one piece." Hearing this, she rolled her eyes and glared at him. "Shut up, you overpowered boss. You basically treated this secret realm like a walk in the park. Stop pretending you're one of us amateurs." Seeing her pout, he was completely bewildered. "Why do you look so grumpy? Are you looking at your Destiny coin balance or something?" Just then, the system notified Chumo once again. "System scan complete. The host has completed the novice quest in the secret realm with outstanding results. Special rewards have been granted to you. Passive skill, solidified chi domain. You are unaffected by the environmental spiritual chi. The host's combat power will remain unchanged even on Earth, where spiritual chi is extremely scarce. This allows you to unleash your full combat strength. A pet is also scheduled to be delivered in 2 days. Please prepare to receive your pet upon returning to the real world." On this completely deserted street, as the blue light faded away, the voices of passers-by suddenly erupted as they spotted Chumo. "Hey, look everyone, it's Godmo!" Crowds rushed over, eager to take a photo with him to post online. "Godmo, please give me your autograph. Godmo, can we take a selfie together? I want to record a TikTok video." After patiently fulfilling all their requests, taking photos and filming TikToks, the fans adored him even more. "I can't believe Godmo is so patient. I love him so much. Goodbye, Godmo." "I'm so happy I actually got a picture with Godmo. I'm posting this on Facebook right now." Chumo watched as the crowd finally dispersed. Only then did Chumo let out a sigh of relief. Holding his face tiredly, he muttered, They're finally gone. What on earth is going on? Yudong walked over and explained why he was being mobbed by everyone. Everything that happened in the secret realm was live-streamed globally. I'm not sure about the other saviors, but I can guarantee your popularity has completely surpassed everyone else's. You're already an A-list star. In a little while, some brands might even reach out to make you their spokesperson. So Mach didn't expect things to turn out this well. It felt like his sister's medical bills wouldn't be a worry anymore. Are you serious? Is it really that big of a deal? If that's true, then that's amazing. I won't have to worry about money anymore. Hearing that, Wudong curiously asked, "Are you really that short on cash?" So Mach didn't hide it either. He honestly told her about his situation. "Yeah, that's right. To pay for my sister's treatment, I've ended up deep in debt. But that hospital can't fully cure her. If I actually had the money, maybe I could find a better hospital." Wudong never expected him to be going through something like this. Out of the kindness of her heart, she offered to help. "Why didn't you say so sooner? I can get in touch with some great doctors and even some cultivators who are skilled in medicine. Besides, I've got plenty of money myself." "You don't need to worry about the medical bills or the medicine." Wudong smiled. So Mach was practical enough not to refuse when someone offered a helping hand. He grabbed her hand and said, filled with gratitude, "Then I'll really have to trouble you. If we can find a better hospital, that would be amazing. I'll pay you back for all the treatment and medicine later." Wudong giggled and replied, "Oh, don't be so polite with me. You saved my life. This little bit of money is nothing compared to that." Once they sorted out the situation with Somok's sister, she realized she was starving. Wudong said weakly, "Let's find a place to eat first. I haven't eaten a single thing all day. After that, we can go check on your sister." He immediately agreed. "Sounds like a plan." She pulled out her phone, intending to order a ride for the two of them on an app. "Let me call a ride first." But before she could even book it, a white car pulled up right in front of them. She stared at the car and muttered in confusion, "Wait, that's weird. I haven't even booked it yet. How is the car already here? Are these apps really that smart nowadays?" So Mach could tell at a glance that this wasn't a rideshare. Frowning, he said to her, "I'm afraid we've got trouble." Wudong didn't understand what he meant. Just then, the driver stepped out of the car looking very polite. He apologized to the two of them for being so abrupt, then explained why he was there. "Excuse me, sorry to bother the two of you. Mr. So Boss 2 has invited you to come by the company. He hopes to clear up a few small misunderstandings from before." Hearing this, Somok found it completely laughable. He immediately rejected the invitation for today, a small misunderstanding. You really know how to spin a story, don't you? How can he say with a straight face that forcing me to take the blame and commit suicide is just a minor misunderstanding? Even if you guys hadn't come looking for me, I would have hunted you down to settle this score anyway. But I'm busy today, let's make it tomorrow. I'm only delivering Boss 2's message, sir. What I have to say next might sound a bit harsh. Please don't get angry at me. Knowing the man was just a messenger, so Mach asked, "Go on, spit it out. What exactly did he tell you to say?" At the mention of Boss 2's threat, the driver's face suddenly went pale. He began to stammer, barely able to get the words out. Boss 2 said, Boss 2 has already invited Mr. So's sister over first. And if Mr. So doesn't show up, then Boss 2... Seeing them use So-Van to threaten him again, the air around them instantly grew heavy as his chilling aura burst forth. I really underestimated how low you people can stoop. But with his current strength, so Mach didn't need to fear any of these bastards anymore. Messing with. So-Van was his absolute red line. Maybe you guys also overestimated my patience. Seeing him furious, the driver broke out in a cold sweat. He quickly tried to explain, Mr. So, I'm just an ordinary employee. This is all just Boss 2's orders. I have elderly parents and young kids to feed, not to mention rent to pay. I really had no choice. Hearing that the man had a family and was only doing this out of desperation, so Mach immediately reined in his anger. Sorry, I lost my temper for a moment. Lead the way. Let's get your task done. With that, So Mach and Wudong got into the car, letting the driver take them to their destination. The driver brought the two of them to the company headquarters and said, Boss 2 is waiting for you upstairs. I won't be joining you. Please go on up, both of you. Then, turning to Wudong, he practically begged, Miss, please. Please don't let Boss 2 know that I brought you along too, okay? Of course she wouldn't say a word. She gave him a reassuring nod to ease his mind. Your survival instinct is pretty strong, isn't it? Don't worry. I won't say a word. Hearing this, the driver was incredibly grateful. Thank you, miss. I'm already over 30 years old. It's not easy to find another job these days. Seeing how sincere he was, Wudong felt a bit embarrassed. All right. You should get out of here quickly. It might not be safe here in a little while. The driver quickly got ready to leave. Okay, I'll take my leave first then. All right. Sumo didn't want her to get dragged into his own mess, so he told her, Wudong, I can handle this. Just wait for me downstairs. She, of course, refused to agree to this. What are you talking about? I'm not the kind of person who abandons a friend. That black-hearted boss has seen what you can do in the mystic realm and won't dare threaten you anymore. He must have another trump card up his sleeve. She was also worried he might get hurt now that they were no longer inside the mystic realm. After all, the strength boost inside the mystic realm was thanks to the coin of fate, which can't be brought back to reality. Even you might run into danger. Sumo was about to tell her the truth that he wasn't actually affected by that constraint. But his next words were cut off by Wudong. She raised her phone and said playfully, That's why while we were in the car I contacted a few cultivator friends, who are nearby, and asked them to come over. That way nothing can go wrong. Meanwhile, up in President Tu's office, Consultant Joe could see his intense agitation and said in a cold voice, Your emotions are starting to get chaotic. He didn't deny it, but spoke frankly. At the boundary of life and death, am I not even allowed to panic? Hearing this, he began to lecture President Tu. In Sun Tzu's Art of War, it is said that victorious warriors win first and then go to war. This means the outcome of a battle is decided before the battle even begins. But President Tu wasn't nearly as confident. He looked at him and said in a bitter voice, Do you really think you have a guaranteed victory? I honestly envy your optimism. After all, a fight between people like you is something an ordinary person like me can't even get involved in. Why should you care how I feel? Seeing him speak in such a sharp tone, Consultant Joe frowned and said, That's not true. You've already contributed a lot to my battle. President Tu didn't understand how he could have helped, so he asked, Contributed? He explained to him, cultivators may seem powerful, but they have their weaknesses too. Their ability to use spiritual energy depends heavily on their mental state. If a cultivator's mind is unstable, they can't unleash their full strength in battle. Those whose minds are completely clear and unaffected by the outside world are the most troublesome. Fortunately, very few cultivators can ever achieve that state of mind. Before you mentioned that Sumo cares deeply about his sister. Kidnapping her and moving her to a hiding place is more than enough to completely mess with his head. Even if he is a somewhat unusual body cultivator, his strength will drop drastically. It turned out that President Tu had indeed ordered his men to kidnap Su-yun. Right now, she was sitting in a wheelchair with guards watching her constantly. He then came up with an even better idea. It would be even better if you kept the workers here and made them work as usual. If Sumo has to worry about the safety of colleagues he works with day and night, his hands will be tied during the fight. No matter how ruthless President Tu was, he couldn't just sacrifice human lives. He was terrified that if Sumo lost his mind, he would slaughter everyone. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became, and he snapped at Consultant Joe. Do you really have to go that far? We are talking about hundreds of lives here. Do you not have even a single shred of empathy? If there are massive casualties, my company won't survive. Being accused of being heartless. Consultant Joe froze and stared at him. Seeing President Tu explode with anger, he had to soften his tone and explain. He also hoped President Tu could find the confidence to go head-to-head with Sumo. This is just a habit of mine. When facing a strong opponent, the first thing to do is use every possible means to eliminate them. Since you've rejected my advice, at least try to show some confidence, especially in front of Sumo. I don't want your panic to suddenly fire up his fighting spirit. After listening to his calm explanation, President Tu's emotions gradually calmed down. He tried his best to control himself and project an aura of total composure. I hope those small details you paid attention to can really play their part, Mr. Wang Baizheng. Inside the company lobby, Wudong looked around and saw no one there. She whispered to Sumo, There is no one in this building. It looks like that President Tu is fully prepared to start a war. Fearing there might be danger, she asked him once again, Are you sure you don't want to wait a bit longer? My friends are almost here. Sumo gave a soft hum, his voice filled with determination. I've made up my mind. I don't even know if my sister is alive or dead. I can't just sit here and wait. Seeing how determined he was, Wudong didn't try to talk him out of it, agreeing to go in with him instead. All right, then I'll go with you. No, but Somak won't let you go up there. He came up with a reason to get her to agree to stay downstairs.
You should stay here, it'll help me much more. In case of an emergency, you and your friends can support me from the outside.
Wudong didn't insist further. She just told him to be careful. Just make sure you're careful, okay? Try to buy some time. As soon as my friends get here, we'll back you up right away. So Mok softly replied, Yeah, I got it.